about team selection. He's like, what do you mean you want a ball?
Can I tell you already? On YouTube, David has been on. Ferner rattled! Exclamation mark. I don't know where you get that idea from.
Is he on there? We're just having a bit of a domestic here. Scully's withdrawing his labour. What's going on? You can't withdraw it. We want to sack you first.
Oh, hold on. What the hell is that there? What the hell is that? Hey, listen. I've got to say, we're a rugby league show. I've got to say, we are a proper rugby league show. He wasn't a rugby league player. I'm not having it.
Right,
I'm not having it. Sorry. We're a proper rugby league show.
What are you being like that for?
I'm not having it.
You know what? You're getting.
I'm going to get ripped in.
It's a bit of a fractious start.
Hang on.
Is there a reference to Gary Schofield?
Well, there's no thing, is there? There's no index, which is always bad. However, I look on the final page and look at those magic words there.
Doug Lawton.
Yeah. I spent the rest of the time I spent looking at my strong points and my weak points. Yet again, I concluded my poor form in the second half of the season stemmed from not having that extra bit of bulk to protect my frame. That's Stoggies, isn't it? That's what you get. I resolved to do lots more heavy weights.
Could he drink?
Oh no. He didn't ask for it. He didn't ask much to come to Stoggies hot tears, to be honest, but anyway.
Doug Lawton from Witness replaced David Ward as coach, and he told the press he was going to build me up. All the talk of more muscle prompted speculation in the media that I was going to become another Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've taken a lot of flack since I changed codes as expected. My standing in rugby union and the reported size of my signing fee have made me a natural target for criticism. However, I've gone through a really steep learning curve and I believe I've got what it takes. The rugby world hasn't heard the last of John Gallagher just yet. London Broncos legend there, John Gallagher, speaking. After London Broncos beat non-crisis club.
Here we go. We've brought in. Well, you can go now, Scott. Your replacement. So if you want to go, you're withdrawing labour. Then get yourself off. We are 5 Falcons. Lots to talk about tonight.
Have we breached the salary cap here?
Well, technically, if we got paid, we would have a chance. But as none of us get paid,
Has that shirt breached the salary cap?
well,
Just my retinas.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Hold on. That's all right coming from an Aussie. Eh? Well, you'd be proud of Mark. Eh?
What's wrong with that?
Jeez.
Is it breast cancer week?
Do me a favour, honestly. This is quality. Eh?
It is. You win it in a golf day because you want a ball. Unless it's not.
It's some of the Bilal lads, you know what I'm saying? 3 for the tenner.
I'll give you an order later. Right.
3 for the tenner, 25p a week.
We've got lots to talk about tonight. People moaning on social media saying, "Oh, we don't want it to be all about Leeds." It's not going to be all about Leeds tonight. We will discuss Leeds undoubtedly, but what I don't want to do is overlook how good London were on Friday night. Phil and I were there. Richard was there as well, trying not to laugh in the press box. We asked the questions. We got labelled as those online.
Some people online by some TV presenter.
Yeah, we've had words. If you are watching, please share on social media, through Facebook, through your YouTube, through Twitter. If you are subscribed, by the way, we've got loads of subscribers now.
Yeah, we've got
people joining all the time. Which is always good.
Now we need to get about 20,000 more people on Facebook, which is not going to happen, but if you can do that, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Our social media executive, who also is not paid, she's been doing a very good job this week.
Yeah, very good. What are you two talking about?
I was just chuckling.
We're just having a battle of the ashes here, me and Davidson.
Right.
Well, I thought you'd bring out that the Tigers beat Man in the weekend. Are you going to leave that for later?
Oh, don't worry about that. I'm ready for you, Dave. Don't worry about that. I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
Oh, we've gone back up in the Luxembourg podcast charts as well. That's the breaking news.
Where are we?
304th last week.
Oh, very good. Yeah. How many is it? 305.
Like I said, people in...
Did the team in 305th didn't put one out last week? We've gone up by default just for turning up.
I know I missed the start, but has Wigan found Sean Edwards' mobile number yet?
Well, it's funny you should say that, John. We haven't actually mentioned it yet.
Sorry.
We have been digging up about this the last month or so, saying he ain't going. Scully, did you ever sign a contract, or have it released that you'd sign a contract when you hadn't actually signed it?
Or even been offered it.
What the hell is happening at Wigan? Now, we'll talk about what happened on the field in a bit. What is happening off the field at Wigan? They announced he'd signed a 3-year contract. They announced that
9 months ago.
And he has not signed any contract at all.
And all the publicity.
He was on telly,
All the publicity.
It was pure
in
coincidence
there,
that season tickets went on sale that week.
Oh.
Pure coincidence.
Oh.
You're going to
When
get a
you
message now.
And sat there, you know, sat there.
I've already
with-
had some, don't worry.
sat there with all the big wickets, Mr. Lanigan, also to Chris Ladlinsky, who's the CEO. The new coach coming in, Adrian Lamb. The new coach coming in after Adrian Lamb in Sean Edwards, allegedly on a 3-year deal. Where was the guy who was in charge at Wigan at the time? Sean Wayne. Why wasn't he there saying, tell you what, I'm handing over this club to 2 great coaches to take this club forward and hopefully keep the success what I brought here. I'll tell you what an absolute shambles Wigan are, not just on the field at this moment in time, but off the field. How professional are they? You know, breaking the salary cap. I couldn't care less what sort of figure you're talking about. They broke the salary cap again. Lucky to have the 2 points as far as I'm concerned that they've got in the league table at this moment in time. But hey, listen, you can't blame Sean Edwards, because let's not forget this, right? Sean, he would have been in contact, I would say daily, if not weekly, or every 2 or 3 days with Lanigan and what's going on since Lam has been there with the performances. Knowing Sean as I do, as I said last week, he would have been on to them. But I reckon now he's had enough. I reckon he's been totally disrespected. So what Sean Edwards has done from a professional point of view is looking after his own interests. And also, let's not forget here, Sean Edwards, you know, has never ever coached a rugby league side. Never coached a rugby league side. Even at his own amateur club at Wigan St Pat's, he's never been involved. So I'm asking the question here now. Eddie Jones, he's making a tours of the England job. They're not going to win the World Cup. You looked at that performance from there. Eddie Jones today, like all coaches are doing in all sports, has come out with a pathetic statement by saying England, they're still suffering from the 2015 World Cup. Hold on, that was 4 years ago.
No, that's just Blaine Burgess.
Yeah.
And he's going to be bringing in an expert on psychology or whatever. What an absolute load of tosh that is. But also, what Sean has done here now, because it's quite clear, Sean Edwards in rugby union has got a massive and brilliant reputation, not just as a defence coach, but as a quality coach as well. So, from the guys in rugby union, the big wigs in rugby union, certainly from a player's point of view, in Delalio and Greenwood and Carlin and so on, they know exactly what Sean Edwards can bring. I'll tell you what, Sean Edwards won't be going to Wigan. You've blown it, Wigan. Sean Edwards will be in rugby union still, whether it's going to be at Wasp, which has been mentioned, but also as well, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he's part of the England setup come the end of the World
Or
Cup
taking over Wales.
in
who are
September.
looking for a new
No,
coach.
Wales.
They've hired another Kiwi.
Wales have got a new.
Another Kiwi.
Yeah, they've got.
Lane Pivic, I think.
Yeah, they've got a coach.
But he
They
could
don't-
still be an
no,
assistant.
no, they don't want him. No,
They definitely
No,
don't.
yeah.
Sean said it himself. He's got a new direction. Wigan have made an absolute tours of this. Well done, Sean. He'll be staying in rugby union.
Well, what have we said for the last month? And I said it to you, might as well have had a plane with a banner on the back of it, driving around saying,
Hey, but Mark,
it's Sean Edwards, a man contract,
right,
get me a new
right,
job.
right then. Another question is here for everybody. I guess it's for everybody out there as well. To be honest with you, even the Wigan fans, because they must be shaking their head. What is going on here?
Well,
Do you know what?
can I just
Right.
jump in one
Yeah,
second,
go on.
because it's quite an important
Yeah, go
thing,
on.
because Wigan will be delighted, because tonight they have got one new fan, because Bilko and his lovely wife, they've had a little boy.
Oh, great!
Hey,
Yeah, many.
today.
Right,
So
many-
Bilko,
Excellent.
yeah,
many
he's now a
congratulations.
proud dad.
Do you
So
know
there you
what? Right, do you know what as well? Right here now, you know Sean Wayne. Sean must be thinking, what did I do anyway to get the sack in the first place? What the hell did Sean Wayne do? Because as we all know, Wayne, red and white through and through. Split him down the
Cherry
middle.
and white. I
He
once
didn't
said
get the
on
sack.
a
He didn't get the
radio.
sack.
Hold on. I once said on a radio commentary. Will you two give up? I once said on a radio commentary to Dennis Betts, red and white. He went, "It's cherry and white," and I thought he was gonna warm me up. Honestly.
Well, it's like reason you can say blue and yellow, it's blue and amber. Yeah, so I bet. All right. So the Sean Wayne. What did Sean Wayne ever do wrong at Wigan? Came through all the system, all the success what he got.
They played boring rugby, didn't they? That was the problem.
That was only that season. But that changed. Then won the grand final from there. What has Sean Wayne? What has Sean Wayne done to make sure he's not only not in rugby league anymore, but also not part of the great Wigan club?
There's two huge issues here. The first is, I think we said it when Sean was first appointed, he would have asked for some assurances. He would have looked at where Wigan are now on the field and the fact that he's coming back and it's his reputation at stake. So to take the job in the first place, he would have said, I want this for me backroom staff. I want A, B,
Sean
and C.
said Sean said most important thing for me when I come back to Wigan Rugby League is I need two
Yeah.
quality
So
assistants.
he would have said,
That was his first.
I want strength and conditioning guy, I don't want physio.
Which
I
Sean
want-
Wayne didn't know, did he?
I
He
want-
had one assistant.
And they've got rid of some of their backroom stuff. So he would have said, I want that in
Or
place,
most of the backroom stuff.
and these are the people that I want, and they won't come cheap. And he would have said, and player recruitment wise, I get that we've gone through 3 or 4 years where some of the star names are gone, but if I'm coming back, what star names are we signing? And I think that's the first thing. Clearly, Wigan haven't been able to give him that, which is why there is this delay in the marriage coming together. So that's a worry on the field, that they don't have the money to get the star names that Sean Edwards presumably thinks they need, and the staff, more importantly, the infrastructure. But the other thing is, you mentioned crowds going down, and we tried to work out why, when a team is successful, crowds go down. Because you ask any fans, and yeah, teams play a boring style of play, but if you win, that's normally enough to at least keep the same level of fan base. The crowds have dropped by about 4,000 over the last 3 or 4 years, and that's while they've still been successful, current champions. So what is it that is turning the Wigan public off supporting a team that they are clearly passionate about? And I think it's a lack of leadership. I think they are absolutely fed up
We mentioned,
with scenarios such as this.
Phil, we
where
mentioned
the truth isn't
we've
being
mentioned
told
last
to them.
couple of weeks. Is it time for Ian Lenigan to hand over control to someone else?
The problem
It
he's
is
got,
our understanding that club is up for sale.
But how is he
who's
gonna
going to want
sell
to
it?
buy it now?
at
Who's
the
gonna wanna
moment,
buy it?
at the moment, it's a great time to buy it because you could virtually
Yeah,
walk
but what are
in
you
and ask-
buying? What are you buying?
Well,
you don't
now is a
you
good
don't own
time
the
to
place.
buy it because the
Not George
market
Williams.
the
What are you
market's at its
buying?
lowest.
Well, what are you buying?
But if you want to sell it for a certain price, you're not going to get that
I think
price.
when you talk about the crowds going down, you've got to remember that the crowds across the whole competition have been going down for several years, so that's reflective of a trend. But the,
yeah,
the,
but
key issue,
proportionately,
the
they're,
key
they're
issue
down
in any
there.
event is the truth. And the same thing happened with John Bateman leaving.
Yeah.
He's going to sign for Canberra, but he's signed with us to come back.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks later, John Bateman tells Phil Wilkinson, I haven't signed to come back. So a flat out lie, which
Yeah.
is also
It's
with
a
the Sean
great-
Edwards. So
Yeah.
why?
But I think-
the media mismanagement is
yeah,
frightening.
But
we've
we-
talked about this lately. Disinformation,
We've
misinformation.
seen
We never
this
talk about.
at the, one of the main problems at Widnes was the fact that a lot of the fans felt that they weren't being told the
they
truth.
were lied. They were lied to. Well, the club's not in debt.
And unfortunately, part of the issue is, yes, you're not performing on the field, but you are losing fans, you're hemorrhaging fans because they don't trust the people that are running
Yeah,
the
but
club.
all clubs are like that, aren't they?
No, it's at the
They're not.
moment, it's a downward spiral at Wigan.
Well, I'll use an example who I interviewed last week, Michael Carter. I mean, I don't think he's ever tried to sell Wakefield fans down the river and say we're gonna go and sign Gareth Widdop or Sam Burgess. He's always been very honest, very
I didn't say every
transparent.
club, I said most clubs.
Yeah, well, okay.
Even my club,
No,
even my club are telling a few
I think
pot scratches out there. We need transition.
I think I'm not sure that's a lie. I think the issue for Wigan
Well, I
is
tell
the
you what,
fact
it's certainly a pot scratching. I'll tell you,
that
Phil.
they've lost
We'll
the
discuss
trust.
Leeds after 7.
They've lost
For
the
all those
trust
wanting
of
to
their
get
fans.
Is
I
what?
want to know what the
Wigan have
listeners.
lost the trust
I
of their
agree with
fans.
you. And this now, John's just hit the nail on the head there. They got caught with their pants down over Bateman, and they've been caught with the pants. This is an absolute. This is a disgrace. There is, and that statement today is a disgrace. It doesn't say anything. Oh, we're trying to get hold of him. What the hell? What the hell?
Where is he? Is
Should
he-
we ringing him up every day,
Sean.
saying, Sean, we need you to start now, mate. We need you to
Well,
start.
he's in Cardiff, he's not on the moon.
Exactly. Look at Sally, I can see him.
He's in a
Go in the car park. You can say hello.
Probably having a few
I
pints
think-
celebrating.
I think when they negotiated the non-contract, they knew his phone number.
But why?
Yeah.
Why then? The big question is right. This is
Really
it, and there are two sides to every story. Why has Edwards agreed to have it announced that he signed a contract when he hasn't signed a contract? What is in? What benefit is that to him? I don't. There has got to be. There's gonna someone from Wigan is going to come back to us, whether it's on the record or off record, and say, look, this is what's happened. We know that. There are two sides to every coin. So has Edwards maybe? Is he pulling a fast one or? Is he just going, well, I ain't got a contract, so I can't sign?
well, no,
He
the
started
first
off with
thing-
when and if.
Yeah.
When and if I come, and now it's
Yeah.
I don't have a contract. So I think, as Phil said, there's obviously been a breakdown in that he was going.
Yeah.
Something's happened, and now he's
But
wavered.
sure, Scotty, when you went to Leeds from Hull, they didn't go, oh, here's Gary Schofield, we just paid 100 and whatever grand for him. You didn't rock up with no contract, did you? I'm sure that was the first thing you did, wasn't it? Sign your contract before they announced that you were signing.
Yeah. Well, he's
Unless that
in front of
contract
everybody, but
is subject to certain conditions. And Sean Edwards has said, for me to come to your club, I want X, Y, and Z. And they've said, of course you can have X, Y, Z. And 8 months down the line, X, Y, and Z hasn't happened.
But also, too, another laughable thing from...
and I don't think it has.
From Mr. Lanigan, because Lanigan, didn't he say in the press conference, I've wanted Sean Edwards at Wigan for the last 10 or 15 years. This is how long it's taken. Now we've got our man. I wanted Sean here 10, 15 years ago. Now we've got him. Boy, oh boy.
But,
isn't this just an absolute shambles?
Let's take it on then. But what do Wigan do now? They brought in Adrian Lamb, supposedly for a year, in a whole...
Well, if they give it to Adrian Lamb now, so right, tomorrow Adrian Lamb signed a new 3-year contract, it looks like he's the second choice. He's automatically default second choice.
So what do they do?
I tell you what, looking at Adrian Lamb's body, I mean, is Adrian Lamb enjoying it at Wigan?
Yeah, but you've got to look at it from his point of
do?
view. It's just an impossible... I think he's been put in an impossible situation. What... They should have begged. Wigan should have begged Wayne to stay till the end of his contract. And then it comes again is, why has he left? And this question has never been answered. Why has he left?
Right, you know the facts of the matter. We should not be having this conversation. Do you know why? Because Sean Wayne should still be in charge of Wigan.
No,
Simple as.
Well, you can't rewind time, Gary.
No, but we shouldn't be having it.
But why has he gone? Because it could be the same reasons
because
why
of
he's
interference
gone.
from the chairman.
It could be the same reason why he's gone. It's the same reason that Edwards isn't coming.
If you want to do your job to the best of your ability, you need certain tools to be able to do that. Sean Wayne was told that his backroom staff was being cut. He was also
Sean Wayne was undermined by Lenigan. That's why Sean Wayne knocking on Lenigan's door and saying, "You're undermining me. If this is going to be the case,
why are you saying he's undermined him? You can't just say that.
Well, he's approached Sean Edwards to take over his job.
Right. Okay.
And Sean's found out. And he's not being belittled, though. He's not being undermined.
And he's walked out.
That's what it is, and rightly so. Because the job what he's done.
As much to do with the fact that players that he wanted to be there were sold for under him, like
Michael
McAlorum.
I agree with that.
There would be his general on the field, and suddenly McAlorum is told with 2 weeks of the pre-season to go, he's going somewhere else. And I don't think the coach has a say in that. And the coach says, "Hang on a minute, that's my general on the field." So I all of those issues become. It's untenable then for Sean Wayne to stay as much it is for Wigan to want to keep him.
Well, you look at their recruitment strategy most recently when they've signed two players from the championship and they've sold their best players in their own. They've made money off selling them now.
They've been selling their best players for the last 3 years.
That's what I mean. That's always a strategy that's been on for the last few years, and they've picked up bargains, shall we say, or lesser players. Tali Matata or Willie Isa. They're not signing marquees.
No.
So they're releasing their marquees.
Yeah, and they've made some good, like Joe Bullock, I think he's a great signing, but that's a cheap signing. So they're obviously not, either they don't want to or they don't have the money to go out there and spend.
Well, I was saying to football, and I say this having watched Bolton Wanderers, when they go out and sign poor players when they're in the Premier League, if you keep signing poor players, you become a poor team. And that, and you mentioned Bullock, you put Bullock in a good team, he'll be flying, and he's flying anyway. So how good would he be in a team that was good and on top every week?
Well, how would Bullock be this talent side or Warrington side?
That's what I mean. When you're putting him in, and he can just absolutely have an impact, and it's just they have recruited too many non-Wigan players. They're a big club, Wigan, and these are not big name signings. So we Jared Salmon, and we said what a great deal it is for him, but. You don't get Man City not going out and buying a bloke from the Championship.
So Wigan then have not denied the fact that Sean has not signed this contract.
He clearly hasn't signed it.
Sean said this, but Wigan have said, well, realistically, no, he's not signed it, but he is going to do. They've not.
They put out a statement saying we're trying to get in touch with him. That was it.
You're kidding? Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's a statement. We're trying to get hold of him.
I would imagine Sean now, because there's a big celebration down in Wales for what they did at the weekend. Sean likes a pot of Guinness, I can reassure you. Sean Edwards will be, worried about Wigan at this moment in time, whatever, because they've just made an absolute tours of what they've done. And now Sean has done the right thing. The Six Nations has finished. Put himself in the shop window. They've done a great job.
He's been doing that for the last month, Gary, hasn't he?
No, but still, but now after what's happened in the Six Nations, he's done it rightly so, because Gatland, what he's done from there, absolutely brilliant from there. The Six Nations, he's put himself in the shop window. And do you know what the great thing about it, fellas, is Sean is being honest with what's happened, isn't it? And so Wigan now, we're trying to get out of this. and they will try and put the blame on Sean Edwards. You know, Sean said, well, you know, I've got this 3-year deal, but the contract's not being put in front of me.
The thing is,
they will try and twirl that. They will try and put spin on why he's not signed this contract.
If he had signed a legally binding contract, Wigan would have come out and said that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that their statement today of saying we are trying to get hold of him is a tacit admission that he hasn't had a contract.
And something has gone badly wrong. They're not
Yes.
speaking to each other. That's the worry I would have. So Wigan fans, go on. What's happening on social media?
Well, no, because my computer's broken. But however, get Scully to ring him on air, see if Edwards answers. Asked Dave. That's a good one.
If Ellis Humber had phone him.
It's like
But I would imagine he might just answer, say, "Sky, I'm on the Guinness, I'll speak to you for a week." It will be. There's a big celebration in Wales now.
Lots of people are enjoying the hubris of Wigan. I don't want to say they're in crisis because some
They are on and off the field.
Will pick it up
On
and
and
say-
off the
'cause
field.
I don't want to be one of these
That's just
faceless.
online
I know
talk.
these faceless online people who just go on and have opinions. I don't want to be one of those.
You look
people.
rattled, Rich. You look
I'm rattled. I'm rattled.
He's had his hair.
We'll talk about that later. That
Fell out when we rattled.
Hilarious moment in the press conference there. But people are genuinely amused. Replacing them with Blackpool. I think it was Andy. That might have been Andy. Lots of people are not impressed. Sean signing is like Matt Orford was going back to Bradford after getting injured in the season, says Mark. Sebastian's not happy with Andy. Paul Wigan says Dave. John's not happy. No one's happy. Wigan fans are not happy.
Are we bothered? They're not happy. I mean, why? What? Look, as much as we like to get stuck into Leeds, right? And we do.
Justifiably so.
You know, and I don't want to talk about Leeds now. They own their own super stadium. They've gone out and spent money. So they're trying to rectify what has gone wrong in the last couple of years. I say what's gone wrong. They won the league they won the competition 2 years ago.
Yeah, let the
But
best
they
player
are
go.
addressing.
Let the best player go.
Yeah, well, look, that's part of the problem. But they try to address it. At Wigan, they're not doing that. Now Williams is going. It's like, how many good players can you get rid of before you become a rubbish team? And is that what we're at? You know, is this what we're seeing now? What are the players thinking? All right, here, one thing. You've been a player. What would you think if you're sat in the dressing room and they go, "Oh yeah, you're your best centre outside you, whatever, and your full back. Well, we're going to get rid of him. We're getting rid of him.
That's
Don't worry, lads. Don't worry. What we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of lads in from the champion." You're going, hang on. Why I'm playing here to win trophies? This is
That is
not
what
I've signed
happened
up
at
for.
the end of your time at Leeds. That every week a star name left.
Yeah, well, because the club was skinny. Same old, but
But what impact does that have then on the dressing room?
Oh yeah, massive, absolutely, yeah, massive. Because what you're thinking is because the two clubs, as I say, Hull were massive at the time, Leeds massive as well at the time. You're just thinking, well, who are we bringing in then? Surely we're going to be bringing a quality player in. And I like to be honest with you, I say when I got sold from Leeds to go to Huddersfield, and they sold me for under 35 grand, didn't make any slight difference to the debt what were in nearly £5 million. They brought in Dean Clark. Brought in Dean Clark from New Zealand, paid £8 grand for him. That just tells you, doesn't it? What mess they were in.
Yeah.
It just tells you. But yeah,
And what season did they have in 1996?
They didn't, did they?
The closest that they came to going out.
Getting
of business.
relegated, yeah.
No, going out of business.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, the last conversation.
And I'm not saying that we're going to
could have
go
gone
in.
and sold all my stuff to keep Leeds afloat.
Yeah, the last conversation I had with Raymond Shuttleworth, who were the football chairman, then it was quite simple. Leeds were literally £5 million in the rubbish. The bank had stopped the money, and we were on £135 to play Swinton. That was my last game for Leeds. I tore my pectoral muscle, and then got sold on to Huddersfield. So yeah, Leeds were totally in the mire. But as I say, we did talk about signing quality players. They just didn't have the money to do that. And Phil's mentioned with crowds, you look at sponsorship and all this sort of thing. It could quite easily happen to Wigan, because one thing for sure, on the field, are Wigan making the 5? Not a chance. Not a chance.
Here's another thing that would be a worry if I was a Wigan fan. The DW Stadium could become even more expensive because Wigan Athletic have got new owners. There's a chance that Wigan Athletic may even get relegated this year, which is going to put the squeeze on the footballing. What will Wigan do?
Well, that actually, them
if
getting
they
relegated might actually be good for Wigan Rugby, because it might mean they might need all the money they can get.
But what if Wigan can't afford... The money is the issue. It's spiralling down. Suddenly the DW becomes too expensive as an option, either through the landlord or...
Well, it's my understanding that Wigan don't get any corporate hospitality, they don't get any income from anything at the DW. So we have this, we have this morning at Super League level about clubs not owning their own ground, right? Castleford, I remember 5 years ago, I was going, kick them out, the ground's rubbish there, get rid of them, we don't want them in Super.
At least it's their own.
It's their own ground, they pay all the bills, and they've got a team that has developed accordingly. And
What's
they
happened
are
in the
now
media room now?
one of the big
Jesus.
four. I
It's
don't
a
know
closet.
this season.
Oh.
All right, well, fair enough.
What about the
We'll
spread,
move
then?
on from that.
That's gone too.
All right, calm down, lads.
That's an issue.
Wakefield, in the process of buying their own ground back, might be a rubbish ground, but it's going to be their ground, and they can determine what
Yeah, exactly.
income they generate out of that
Exactly.
by what money they put into it. Right? It's their ground.
It's non-rugby income that keeps clubs afloat.
Hey, listen.
And you look at Wigan, right? They don't own anything.
Hey, listen.
But I'm saying, what's the doomsday scenario if that no longer becomes an option where they can play?
I don't think that will happen.
Well, no, David and Mick says they'll move to the Lee Sports Village. What about Orrell? They were there as well.
But also as well, fellas, right?
They're selling all
But also as well,
they're
right?
moving training ground. So
Robin Parr.
We could have been down here before. Let's not forget, why are they playing at the DW? Because of the mess they created by signing all the best players, all the internationals in the world, massive contracts. And what happened then? They lost the home ground in Central Park. This could quite easily happen now, where they may have to go borrow a ground from somebody else and maybe leave Sports Village.
What is the doomsday
I don't think
scenario?
it's that bad yet, but they do
You're saying,
need
yeah, Mark.
to sort this
You're
out
saying, yeah.
because crowds are going down.
Exactly.
And if you keep losing, they're going to keep going down.
So, and they're not going to attract the best players.
2006, there was that rallying round feel that clubs get when everything started going wrong with Wigan.
Last year they cheated, isn't it, to stay up?
Well, you
So
mean
Casper
if they brought the salary cap quite
Yeah.
brazenly?
I think there is an
Yeah.
asterisk in a record book that says
Casper got relegated
ended up-
because they signed Stuart Fielden, yeah.
I think it was Michael
It was
Dobson.
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 It was both of them on it, Fielding and Dobson.
I think Fielden was alright. It was Dobson who kept them in the division. That was
I got the sack. I got the sack from the BBC now because you know that weekend I said Wigan. I was on with John Ledger and I was on the Super League show, right? And I got sacked from the Super League show because what I said was, and me and John Ledger had a good debate on TV about it, you know. And John said, "Oh, Wigan will be alright." I said, "I'll tell you what, Wigan's getting relegated." He went, "What?" I said, "Wigan's getting relegated." He went, "That'll never happen." I said, "What? Why won't it happen? Just because it's Wigan Rugby League Club?" And what did they go and do? Yeah, brought the salary cap, bought these two players, and that was me off there. Molly Slingsy, straight in contact with the BBC. Get him off that show now, and that was me got the
I
book.
wish the people who ran Super
Because I said Wigan would get
got
out.
Morris's number.
Because I said on the Super League show that Wigan would get relegated. Boy oh boy, there's only one person got relegated. That was me.
Well, I wish
Off
the
you
people
go.
who run Super League
P45.
and the RFL now had more influence over the BBC than they did back then.
Right, come on, let's get the.
Have you seen the comment we've had on Facebook? I'll let you read that one. Gary says, what's the odds Wigan will go down and the RFL will move the goalpost and say no one goes down to save the pies? Gary, the Viking there. Which Super League, Gary? It's Robert Helston now. It's not Ralph. Forgot his name then. Sheila's bought into the conspiracy as well. Rugby League Online, the home of conspiracies. What these online people? Don't worry, Matt. We're going to sell T-shirts with it on. We're more than happy. We don't care.
Yeah, just give us a name check next week
Yeah.
when they lose again.
In Catalans.
And then the week after it, on to Cass.
That's
1 in 9.
We're talking about Wigan.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Well, let's talk about the game then. Spirited effort. What were they? They were well behind, and they got 2 tries in 3 minutes. Pulled it back. What happened? I didn't say I was out. I was elsewhere. I was at Leeds.
It was a fantastic game, the Bad Blood. But I thought it was interesting because Adrian Lamb was trying to beef up and say this is the turning point. But the turning point seemed to be when Joe Greenwood elbowed Blake Austin in the head. Blake Austin went off for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know how long it was, their best player. And Greenwood didn't get a card of any colour, even
And
though...
hasn't been cited
No,
under the screen.
which you just, people go, I mean...
Is this the one you tweeted?
Yeah. I mean, it's a blatant shoulder charge to the head of a player who's passed the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think
It
Joe
was
Greenwood's
late
a
as well,
dirty,
wasn't it?
and it was late. Yeah, I mean, I don't in any world, not games gone soft. I don't know how that
Got
is-
away with that.
Yeah, particularly in a weekend when Andrew John's in Australia, who's got epilepsy, and has come out and said that he's not sure, but the doctors think some of the concussions that he's suffered in his career has brought this condition on, which even more points that we should be protecting the heads and the brains of our players.
No, we've got to bring back the shoulder charge.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Shoulder charge on heads, on players not expecting
Particularly
contact.
halfbacks.
So they rallied after that point when Warrington lost their best player, but I don't think that's a turning point personally. I don't think Wigan have been woeful compared to how Leeds have been most of the season, but they haven't been as good enough to get results. They've been in games, but yeah.
They were always in control, Warrington, though, John. Weren't they?
Oh, they were. Yeah,
They were always
never
in
looked
control.
it. Daryl Clark was fantastic.
Yeah, they were never where you'd think. I tell you what, Wigan they could sneak this game. They could get there. No, they're always in control. I don't think the scoreline reflected the game, to be honest with you.
No, I think Warrington were
Warrington were far superior. And as far as we go with George Williams, oh boy.
He played quite well though.
It was
an improvement from the week before when he did the invisible tackle.
It couldn't be any worse, could it? To be honest with you, but still, Warrington at this moment in time, a little bit like St Helens, they're not realistic getting ripped in either because they know you don't win anything in March, April, May, June, July. As we know what the signs are from there, but they were always in control.
But I think the whole event, from the marketing by Warrington, the bad blood, the hype of it was fantastic.
I don't understand because there never seems to be any bad blood between the two clubs. So why?
Well, there was in the grand final last year at half time. I think
was it?
Over the years there has been. Was it they played in? Was it Milwaukee or?
Oh yeah, 87. Yeah, that's 87.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of hype and a bit of bling.
I like the build. I like the build. I'm not a fan of bring back the biff. You know.
It wasn't bring back.
No, I don't mind marketing, quality marketing, but
a lot of people around it. That's what they bring back the biff. No, I don't want the biff. No, I don't want it. I don't want it at all. I want rugby league. I want them hitting each other hard.
Tough,
that's what you want. You know, and getting stuck in. But fair play to Warrington. Another win for them. Just the one loss all season. They're going all right at the minute.
Yeah, but they want to Ben Westwood for an indeterminate amount of time because he's got to speak to the tribunal.
Yes.
Normanton's smartest man officially, Ben Westwood.
Cleverest man, or best dressed.
That's smartest.
Yeah.
On every single version of the word.
Yeah.
Him or Ben Cockayne. One of them is Normanton's smartest Ben. I'm not quite sure which one. But he's going to the disciplinary for laying the head on
he did.
Morgan Escobar.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
And
Oh, it was a red card.
This is Ben Westwood, who, if we're going to be honest, should have got sent off in the grand final when he lamped Blake Green, of course. So maybe he took the bad blood a little bit too close to heart, and he's going to get banned. As is Danny Kerman.
2 games.
2 games for Kerman.
Yeah, it's probably his time for his rest anyway.
He's an old man.
What's
He's an old man.
Kermo done anybody. What's
he
Kermo
should
done?
do the Sean O'Loughlin defence. Oh, I've got a good character, mate.
What's he done?
Yeah. I'll have a look at it.
Dangerous throw.
Dangerous contact.
Kermo's not a dirty player, is he?
Well, he's been done for 2 games, so he'll be
might
be playing golf tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd say if Kermo's getting suspended, the game must be going soft because Kermo doesn't hurt anybody, does he?
Well,
he's just a genuine
anyway,
player.
we'll talk more about that. But Warrington, they've had a good start, haven't they? Just that one blip in Catalan, a game that really they probably could and maybe should have won.
They're going about the business nicely. Again, same as St Helens. I know that when you look at the scoreline against Huddersfield, you'd say, well, I'll tell you what, St Helens looked very, very good against Huddersfield, but Huddersfield the second half, they're just pretty poor, weren't they? So, but they're going through it nicely. Warrington and St Helens, they know they're nowhere near up to their potential. Just going about it business from there, and well, the 2 best sides in Super League easily at this moment in time. I know Cass are knocking on the door, Salford are knocking on the door, but if you'd have to pick 2 grand finalists. You'd have to pick Warrington and Saints, wouldn't you?
Well, we'll find out a bit more this weekend, won't we? Because it is Castleford against St Helens.
What a weekend! What a weekend of games!
What are they on? I'm trying to read over your shoulder, but you're reading an email, Phil.
No, I wanted to talk about the statement that the RFL have put.
We will do that imminently.
Rugby League loves a statement at the minute.
It does. We have got Castleford Saints on Friday. Huddersfield, look out, that's
Wakefield Warrington Thursday.
Wakefield Warrington, yeah.
The George King Derby, as it's
yes, it is exactly.
George King Shield.
He would have been the Ben Westwood Derby,
but
he can't play. Yeah.
Well, don't know him. He hasn't been done yet.
Is it not the Ryan Atkins Derby?
Yeah,
the Atkins King Shield. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll. I almost feel apologetic to Cass. Because they're quietly going about their business.
And I think they'd like that.
Yeah. I'm apologising to them.
No.
They're going about the business.
That nobody is really mentioning them in the same breath as the other 2 teams at the top of the league. I think even Darryl yesterday, after they'd got through against Salford, which sounded a very good game, and establishes Salford's right to be in the top 4, I think, because
we question how could they back up what they did the week before.
Yeah.
And look, they've lost by 2, whatever.
And so I think the 2 really important press calls after that. One was Darryl saying, yet again, we're not playing the way I want us to play, but I'm happy that we're winning. That's a sign of a good team this time of year that can do that. And Salford are saying, we think now we can compete with the big boys.
He said, he wants his players to believe they can because they show. I was at the game yesterday. They showed it for most of it, but they just dropped a few key errors. There wasn't much in the game. It was 4 points in the end.
And have a guess who goes to Salford this week? Wigan.
Is it my imagination with Castle? They haven't been on TV much, have they, this year?
They were on against Warrington, weren't they?
Is that the only game?
Yeah.
They were on against Hull early in the season.
Yeah.
Maybe just missed
They're on this week. How many times have we on?
No, I mean,
They're not Huddersfield.
They're on next week, and the week after week. Have you
no, maybe
a few shirts there, Mr. Shaw?
I think it's just a haircut. There's too much hair getting
I got this feeling I hadn't seen them much on TV and I couldn't work out.
I think that's because you're away.
Because you're away for
you
your
avoid
fun.
it.
No,
You don't want to watch
It's
them.
when they're on.
You don't want to watch them. You're away for your
If Castleford were playing in Richie Chorrat's back garden, he'd draw the
No, I like
curtain.
that.
He'd draw the
Tell you what,
curtain.
now wait for you to got the 3.1 million loan. He's down there with bricks now. It's starting to bricks out down at the new
Yeah.
stadium.
See if we can see Tom on the telly, that's the only reason I watch. Stephen says Kermit should have got a red card, late shot on Sneed. Standing legacy, put a bomb up, ref balled it, says Stephen.
Okay. Oops, that's my phone.
Dirty Kermo.
Apparently,
Get him off! Get him off! Dirty Kermo, get him
apparently
off!
Castleford are on the next 6 weeks.
Oh,
There you go, Rich. There you go.
I'm glad
So it's Sky Sports Leeds United and Sky Sports Castleford.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go.
Good old Leeds.
So there you go. Right, well, people are getting in touch about what has happened this weekend. And I got a message from someone saying, what are my comments on the Matty Smith diving?
Yeah, apparently Matty Smith died.
Is that the one Ben Cocane's retweeted?
I've no
Now,
idea.
Ben Cocaine he needs to be a little bit more vociferous, I think, because he's trying to stamp out
Does
play
he?
acting. No, in that respect, he's calling players out for play acting. And it happened again at the weekend, and people say, oh, you'd have got Aaron Murphy. If you give me an example, I've got anyone who does it. It's rubbish. Stop doing it. People looking like they're being shot when you lay a finger on them. What's the point?
What happened? Well, obviously took a dive, but how? What did
We need to sort out the game now. The game needs to sort out the play of the ball.
Well, the players
it's
have-
sneaking in, people playing the ball. There were a couple of incidents last week in Huddersfield game. Roby got the ball at dummy out, and Roby was playing on, and the referee's blown up for a penalty.
Yeah,
Roby's had to wait half a split second to pick the ball.
Yeah,
He's picked it up. He's not even looked at the ref. He's going, and the ref's going, it's a penalty. And even Roby's going, what? No, it's a penalty. All
But
right.
in
There
the,
was one,
in the
yes.
NRL, they're not doing it.
No, and there was one yesterday with Mitch Garbutt. He was coming back and he was basically passed to play the ball, had his hands up, and Tompkins has actually ran forward to pass the ball into it.
Yeah.
And the ref spun a penalty. It was like there was no penalty there.
There was a worse one as well, where a player is actually unconscious because of a head knock. So immediately you stop the play because of you need to look at the welfare of the player. But because the play the ball's happened, the penalty's already been given. Because he couldn't get away from the play. Well, there has to be a judgment on each occasion.
London did it a couple of times, and Leeds did it on Friday. I was there, I watched the game. And there was once where the London guy moved forward a yard so he didn't have to play it onto the guy, and then he got done for moving off the mark. And you think, are you taking the mickey? Honestly, it's like there's no consistency
it's easy to
with
clean
it.
up.
I'm with you. I think you say, look, hold on, and move out of the way, or move to the side. You should be allowed, if there's a player behind, just move the yard side and play the ball, and he's out of the game.
If it hits the ball because the player genuinely couldn't move anywhere to get out of the way, just play on. I saw that at least 3 times in the NRL this week.
Yeah.
Just play on.
Yeah.
The refereeing this weekend was amazing. There was, I think, something like 20 less penalties across the round. And
No, the refs are awful this week. Sickening display of refereeing.
Touch judging.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll get on to that.
Yeah, we will. Move on. So I don't like play acting. I want to sort the play of the ball out. I think the game is improving. Yeah. It's improved this year, so let's keep improving it.
It's the philosophy of what you tell the referees to go out there and play. It's easy to control. If teams are persisting to slow up the play of the ball, you penalise them. If a bloke's in the way because he can't get out and the attacking team is not being penalised, play on. It's the same with the obstruction rule at the moment. I thought we got at the start of every season, there were obstruction calls that were all going, are we here to score tries or are we not? A defender's been impeded who wouldn't have got there anyway. Can we use our common sense and say, yes, technically under the rules of if there is contact anywhere on the field, it might be obstruction. But if it isn't impeding the scoring of a try, use common sense. That's what the sport's about.
It is.
Scoring
It is.
tries.
Right, let's have a look what's happened elsewhere on
Well,
the field then.
Can
Oh,
I-
go on, let's have a
well,
social
no, can I
media.
just say to Kevin, he's saying we're sounding more like Sky every week. No Championship, no League One. It'll come. There's time. We've only
Yeah,
done 40
frankly.
minutes. Don't worry, I've got a great thing to say about League One in a bit.
What does he want to talk about?
I don't know.
anyway,
Yeah,
Kevin?
Kevin, what do you want to
Tell us what you want to talk about. What are we talking about? Let us know.
Mark says, is it too much to review the cheating play acting by the disciplinary panel? They should. They must go through every game to see things.
It's contrary to the spirit of the
Yeah.
sport. They
So
can
it is,
find
It's
somebody.
naff. It's
Just-
naff. Stop
if-
doing it.
Don't ban them. Just find them and put it in rugby league.
So what did he do
games
the
or
match? Did he fall down at half or something, or what did he do?
Yeah, play the ball, yeah.
Well, after he played the ball, he just took it
Oh,
down.
he got up and fell over. I'm presuming it's that video I've seen. I didn't see the game live yesterday. I had to listen to it on the radio.
Yeah, I watched him most of it, but I never saw it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's no place for. Just stop doing it.
I agree.
Stop doing it.
But then coaches need to tell their players not
I'll
to
tell you
do
what,
that.
sin bin him. Put him in the sin bin. They'll stop it.
Or substitute them.
Yeah, they'll stop it. Put him in the sin bin. Stop it.
Fair enough. Let's have a look what else. Go on, let's get through some social media then we'll have a chat about what's happening on the field.
Andrew thinks Phil's wearing Gary's jacket because it's too big for him.
No, it's just the weight that I've lost in my attempt to get as fit.
Because Leeds need players, yeah.
Well, because obviously with the reduction on
They need a
interchanges-
halfback.
Well, the reduction on interchange, he's got to do 80 minutes now.
No hiding
Wait a
place
minute.
now.
Milky is absolutely right, says Tim. Play the balls, become like union scrums, one big con trick. Daniel says absolute shame about Tom Johnston. It is out for the year.
Get well soon, Tom.
Whole knees done, ACL, MCL, PCL, all done. So
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
Sorted
Because,
out.
you know, at this moment in time, we'd have to say he's the best winger in Super League. The chance is what he gets, the opportunity is what he takes. What a massive shame. And if he'd have kept doing as he did, he would have been a cert for the Great Britain tour, missing out to be a Great Britain Lion. I just want to say, Tom, keep smiling, son. Best wishes, certainly from everybody here now. And, you know, I know you'll be saying, well, you know, I come back bigger, better,
Well, do. We did last
stronger.
time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Last
saying.
time.
Better, bigger, stronger. But it's just a shame that the
it
Lions
is.
saw this year from there. But
Can't do all about
say what,
it,
man,
yeah.
keep smiling, Tom. And
He's got good people around
yeah,
him,
absolutely.
that's the
Well,
main
Michael
thing.
Carter said we will make sure that he'll get everything what's required, and he can't wait for him to get the shirt back on this year.
I'm sure the Lions wouldn't be just a one-year gimmick, would they? I'm sure there'd be opportunities in the future.
You never know about form, mate. You never know about form, do you?
Well,
You never know.
You do not know.
And you never know if he goes to a big club like Leeds, he won't get the service, won't score twice, so he won't get picked.
Win the championship. Might be seen him on the...
He's not going to Leeds.
Can't afford him.
Who's got at least? Tom Johnston?
Yeah, apparently.
What, to do some
What, as
shop?
coach?
To do some
As
shop?
coach?
What, is he after the White Rose? That's only he's got at
Danny
Leeds.
Ward, Chris Chester, who else is coaching Leeds?
Rob-
No, that's what I said.
James Ford.
If he goes to Leeds, he won't get picked for the Lions. Do you not hear what I said? Because he won't get any service.
Richie Marler got picked for the England squad last summer and Leeds were rubbish last year. I saw him on telly.
Eighth choice halfback.
Yeah. Let's move on off Leeds.
No, yeah,
That's the
that's coming up later, yeah. Coming up later.
When we
What-
start talking about the championship.
Well, now you've mentioned it. People have been saying who should Leeds sign for next season in the Championship.
yeah.
Yeah.
What has happened in the championship this weekend? 'Cause I've got no idea. I was working yesterday.
No, I another big win for Sheffield. Who
Oh,
won at
yes.
Dewsbury.
Very tight game, wasn't it?
16-13. Huge win
And
for
how-
Lee.
Half time, more players had seen cards than there were.
Yeah, what was it? 2 yellows, 2 reds or something in the
York
first
as well,
one.
another great win for York. How good are York?
I want to ask, right?
Widnes.
That's the championship gone now.
Widnes.
Witness.
Well, we
yeah,
had
but
controversial ones
Rob's
over
Rob's
Bradford.
Bradford.
There were a few swear words. I
Bradford.
was in the pub yesterday afternoon. There were a few swear words from the Bulls fans that came in.
Just
I don't
like,
mind saying.
you know, just
And
like-
they weren't aimed at me or Scoey for it.
Because we know the Bulls, they've got a great, honest legacy. You know, they paid all their bills back when they went on.
Jesus.
I tell you,
It's another ground. Hey, listen, I'm just getting nicer with Nigel Wood. Nigel's it's a big noise at Bradford now. He'll try and get us in there one afternoon, Rich.
Some,
Don't be spoiling it, son.
Oh, no,
Don't be spoiling it.
Halifax fans
Eh?
left me after my
I've only
fishing expedition.
got
on
the stewards there who don't like me to go in the first place.
Caught some-
Come on, Rich.
Caught some big names, it was quite good. We shouldn't be going on social media, whether we are players or coaches or journalists or commentators or whatever, and naming and shaming match officials because it's
No,
not
it's a
right. Because
disgrace.
especially because we're not going. Scully's the
Well,
exception.
especially because the official was right.
Yeah. Especially
I
because we're
haven't
right.
seen the incident, but I know Ian Smith, who is we respect him. He's been on with us on the radio before, and he said it was the right call. I'm more inclined to believe Ian than I am some biased fan, you know, you'd always think it's against your team.
Apart from Scott,
You know.
who names people he wants to have a go at and has a go at them, and he would do it in.
Yeah, but you
in
do it
public
to
as
your
well.
face.
Exactly.
You don't dig people out. You can't go naming officials and putting them to that sort of criticism.
When players go online after the game and have a go at the referee, and I'm talking about a Bradford Bulls player here, the RFL again need to grow a set and ban these players. It's disgraceful.
I almost think, right, that we shouldn't be allowed to ask about referees in a presser because nothing good ever comes out of it. Nothing good ever comes
You
out of
can't
it.
claim you have a respect policy in the sport if you allow media commentators and players to criticise match officials in public.
I think you
There are
can
channels.
ask.
Well, is it
I
not?
think you can
It's
ask
in the
questions.
rules that you're not supposed to come out and criticise officials.
I think you can ask questions respectfully and you can comment respectfully, but calling things sickening and using those kind of... I mean, I was at the Cass Salford game yesterday, and there was a crucial minute when Salford were coming back. Jackson Hastings broke the line, looked to pass on the inside to Joey Lussick, and Alex Foster tackled him without the ball. And he blew a penalty, but for me that should have been a sin bin because that was a foul. And I asked can't think of the name. I asked Ian Watson after the game, and he said, "Look, yeah, I didn't agree with the decision, but it wasn't the key factor, and that was that."
Yeah,
they handled it well. You know,
it is hard. You know,
I just want to reply to Daly because he says I name and shame players and refs all the time. I'm sure I have.
we do not. No, that is that.
If
Dale,
I-
like
I tell you what,
he
if I-
might have done players, but he never does.
if
Never
it's-
does ref.
if
We
I've only got
don't.
players-
As a show, we don't do it. As a
Hey,
show, we don't do
I'll
it.
tell you why I know I haven't because I bit my tongue when Scott Griggs cost Wakefield the place in the top four.
Don't out him now.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's got Huddersfield, so I don't care.
Broke his hand.
So
you beat your tongue and Scully ate it.
Scott did my job.
Sorry, just out in pub.
The only time-
Scully put every knife he has in his mouth.
Made a little
Hey, but
ball.
you know what? That was nearly 2 years ago now. I'm the one who's getting ripped in. You go, oh, well, it's not fair. It's not fair. Everybody's agreeing now.
That's all right,
Yeah. The ball should have
Times
been.
are great.
The ball should have been booted off to the M6 to a
They'd have
Wakefield
lost
would
in
have
the
been the top four.
semi-final anyway.
That's-
No, they
that's
won't.
not
No,
what
they
I'm
won't.
saying.
They're on a roll. They were on a roll.
If I've ever had a go at a player, it's because they're acting like an idiot on social media, or acting like not because of what they do on the field. Because who am I to criticise what a player does on the field? I'm no one. I wouldn't
No,
criticise
he's
a
got
player.
46 caps.
Dave's made a great point, right? And I think Joanna, a long-time fan listener, said the same thing. Bradford didn't mourn when they got a try award against Featherstone that was a foot short, and I remember seeing the picture. He was short. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
And don't.
They're only human. The officials are only
The
human.
rest made an error.
That's
The
it.
rest made an error. He's made an error.
Yeah,
I'm not
only
bothered.
you-
There's
And
no
it-
conspiracy against any club or anti.
Until
you know.
someone comes out and says, "Oh, here's his betting account, and he's had a bet on all the teams that happen to have lost."
Yeah.
I aren't interested.
And
in
the
it.
thing
not
is,
like-
They
No,
do
you
their
won't
best.
see.
there's also the assumption there that throughout the entire 79 and a half other minutes, Bradford didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
They didn't knock on, they didn't miss a tackle.
Because he would have been bowled out on social
It's
media.
in your own hands.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we've been pulled up now. Well, you have. So I've had my criticism now. Here's Adam. Honest question, did you think it was respectful for us, David Fern, if he was rattled?
Yeah, Adam, right? That is a fair point. And I actually after the presser, I asked you, didn't I? I asked you and Paul. I asked Richard and I with Paul Cut, and I said I felt a bit bad because his reaction to the question answered my question without me needing to. He was right. We saw him at Hull the week before. You were there, John. At Hull the week before, he spoke clearly. He was quite critical of his players, and he came out and said what he thought.
He's very calm and composed in front of media, but I sat behind him at Salford during the game, and there was a lot of choice Australian slang, shall we say, that I won't repeat.
Yeah.
So there's obviously the two sides of David Ferner when he's on the mic to his trainers.
There was a different David Ferner in the presser after the game, and I know what you're saying about was it respectful. I probably could have worded it a little bit better. I'm not going to, and I did question myself after, but there was a different demeanour about him, and my aim was to say almost, why are you different? He was shocked, and I'm not sure if Ferner's getting the grief for other people's mistakes, if I'm honest. I don't know. I just wanted to ask him, and I think he was, and he actually said, he came back after, didn't he? So I was angry.
Yeah.
Not rattled, I'm angry. Which is fair enough. I think I actually used the word shaken as well, and he did seem shaken. He was an awful long time coming in the presser, wasn't he? It must have been 20 minutes after the game. You don't normally get that in rugby. They're normally pretty quickly
Especially if
out.
it's not a non-televised game.
Yeah, and he was late coming in, and I'd rather ask a question. And I've said this,
What
right?
do we
There's
want
two
about me?
Wally questions,
Yeah,
right?
that's
You
what I
got
was
stuck
gonna
in
say.
him at Hull. You said, about his team.
Well, I just asked him if he was going to drop his players.
Yeah,
you can ask questions
we've got to be
respectfully.
seen to be asked those questions. If someone turns around to me or he says, "Look, you were out of order. You don't want you asking me questions like that. Whatever. That's fine. I'll speak to David, or David can speak to me. I'm not bothered. But I'd rather ask the question.
The first
and
question
see what
in
answer I
every
get.
press conference is always, "What do you think of the person that's sat behind the table?"
Yeah.
It doesn't do any harm every now and again to proffer what you think and get a better response.
Yeah.
Every media outlet reported that he was or wasn't rattled.
Yeah.
The
It's
thing is, I watched the video of the press conference, and you weren't provoking him. It was a fair question. It was respectfully asked.
Yeah.
And I think you actually proved, because he was rattled after that in
Because
his
he kept
responses.
coming back to answer someone else's question. He went, "No, that's it. I'm angry. I'm not right.
And you're
So there was something wrong then. He was. I've not had the privilege of working with David. I haven't spent a lot of time with him in a press room. I asked him a question. I mean, he answered you the week before. I thought, I'll ask him an honest. He'll answer the question, and he did answer the question.
And I think his reaction was exactly because the last 6 minutes of that game, he, as a coach, had not expected of his players.
No.
At Hull, it happened in the first half. They came in at half time. He had the chance to try and rectify that, and in the second half they weren't as bad. In fact, defensively they were better. So he went into the press conference, his demeanour was slightly different. That 20 minutes really cost us, and I'm upset about that. This was, they pulled out the win that everybody needed, except they didn't, because I can't fully compute what happened in that last 6 minutes. His reaction to your question was exactly that.
Yeah.
He hadn't had time to compute what had happened.
Yeah.
Because he didn't expect that of his players.
Also, Mark, I mean, you're a veteran of football reporting, and you do get a lot of adversarial at times press conferences. But I think in rugby league, we're the complete. A lot of us are the complete
not in
opposite.
Australia.
It's all in pretty much every professional sport. That's how you should be. I mean, you're not there to be mates with the coach. You're there to ask sometimes difficult questions if they need to be asked, and that's what you did. And I think that's what we need to get to at every press
If
conference.
this was the
not
NRL,
taking on coaches.
if he was 1 winning 7 in the NRL,
yeah.
he'd be getting asked everywhere, "Are you going to resign? When are you going to quit? Do you think you're going to get sacked?" Here, we're all nicey, no one dare ask him. You've got to be seen to be asked. Phil, the press guy, never met. He didn't seem overly bothered that I'd asked the question. And we would be respectful. We never do anything. It's not. Well, yeah, but that's the point. If there's a problem, then it'll get picked up on. It hasn't been picked up. So maybe the listener, I don't know who it was. Thanks for your message anyway. But I don't think I did anything wrong.
Andy and Sue says, thoughts on Chester's rants regarding a certain referee during the Forty20 interview, clip set to Jansen, etc.
Wasn't a rant.
I said, someone brought this up on Twitter yesterday, and I said, look, if I'm saying players shouldn't go on social media, coaches shouldn't say this and the other, I mean my own coach as well. I'm not going to say, oh no, Chris Chester's got to do whatever he wants.
Monday that we thought his reaction was wrong.
Yeah. In fairness to Furner, and I haven't seen it back, I thought the winning try for London, there was a forward pass in it, and I said that in my commentary. It looked forward. I don't know if it was or not. To me, it did on the night. He never even mentioned it once. No. He did it. He never mentioned it once. So credit to him.
On Chris Chester, I watched that video because I wasn't at that game, and I think he was giving his honest opinion. I don't think it was overly critical. And you watch the whole video in entirety. That was not. It's not like he went on a 10-minute rant about the referee.
I think it was.
And he went through the channels after with Steve Anderson,
which he should have done first.
I think Chris Chester is very good because you can pretty much ask him anything and he'll give you your honest opinion. And he doesn't have pot shots at people unnecessarily.
That's why I asked him.
But he did say we've had this referee twice, and I just think you're queuing up for somewhere down the line that's going to come back and hurt you.
That's why I asked him the week.
The thing is, though, that referee I think was dropped after that game because he shouldn't have been refereeing Super League.
You just go through the right channel. In fact, Furner said that, didn't he? Was it against Hull? I'll go through the right channel.
Thanks to all those people sending us in great things where Bradford have got points where they shouldn't have. Con sent us a picture of Bradford being offside from a penalty they kicked and got 2 points. Thanks for that, Con. Neil Grice has mentioned my favourite ever one. I was a ball boy for this one. Bradford didn't man when Neil Summers was awarded a try that was 2 yards short in 1990. Robin Whitfield, the referee, I remember that. Robin Whitfield.
Quality referee, Robin. Neil would have got there as quick as what he could.
I remember that.
He was just 2 yards
I
short.
was ball boyed on that one.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You were
me.
ball
I
boy.
was on that side of the pitch.
Oh.
Did you ever catch the ball? You know when they kicked him in the touch switch? Did you ever
Did you
catch
think I
it?
could catch the ball? No, I was waiting for it to bounce.
Did you see Richie Myler try and attempt to trap the ball the other night? It
Oh,
needs
he's
to
right.
a drop out.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll move on to Leeds soon.
Can I mention the statement from the RFL?
Okay.
Do you want to wait till 7 o'clock?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we've got a tea. We've
Craig's-
got a tea run coming
Yeah,
in.
Craig's had a go at me anyway. What's not paying the bills got to do with the Bulls losing the game by a dodgy call in the 79th minute? Nothing, Craig. I'm just winding Bulls fans up because they're so touchy. It's ridiculous.
He's going to have his own show soon.
Well, no. What it
The
is?
RSWL.
I'll have his own podcast.
Do you remember? You know, Family Guy in Cleveland got his own show.
Yeah.
Oh my days, yeah.
He's Cleveland. He's Cleveland.
I think he's realised that there's really only 4 seats here and he's making a play for one of them. So
The,
when musical chairs starts, he's got to have one.
all the excitement of the world of rugby league, and of course we're going to talk about all these statements because of course we've got the Barrow statement to talk about as well, because I still might be the only person at the summer bash, and if the RFL are watching, I've got my phone and a tripod. I'm willing to do the
You're
the
going
event
to
for-
commentate and do the camera
well,
work.
I'm cheap. Well, I might be cheaper than
Pitch
some people
announcing?
employed. Yeah, I can do everything. Yeah, it'll be
Very
all right,
good.
yeah.
Very
I mean,
good.
I just won't be interviewing anyone from Bradford.
You're banned. You're banned.
I'll just go eat cake in that week because they have nice cake in the press.
You're already
No,
on
they
thin
did.
ice
They
at
did
Bradford.
have cake.
You're already on thin ice at Bradford just because you hang around with me.
Well, I'm not bothered. I don't
Now
like
you've.
Bradford. People say this programme's anti-Leeds. Nah, we like Leeds. Got nice food there. Nice press room.
Rich, can you believe, right? This is the God's honest truth, right? On the way on from the game on Friday, Rich and I had a
We're not sure.
conversation.
We're not sure that tells lies.
We have to, no, Rich and I.
We're all
genuinely
being
had a
honest,
con-
aren't
No,
we?
we're going to be honest now.
And you
right?
stop laughing as well, Wilson.
We,
alright?
no, I'm not laughing because
You
on
are.
the way home. No, this is listen to what I've got to say. We were on the way home, right, in the car, and I said to Rich, you know, when Leeds we've been building up Leeds in crisis.
Some people online.
Yeah, and I said, now they are actually in crisis. It's not actually as much fun, is it? I feel quite sorry for them in a way. It's weird. I don't want Leeds to be. I want them to be bad, but not as bad as they were.
It was like last year with Witness when it was 17 losses in a row. You're kind of
Yeah.
feel a little bit bad for them.
Yeah, come on, lads.
So,
Mr. Wilson, just re-say what you just said.
No, we
Just
It
re-say.
was disappointing.
I'm
Now
asking
they
you
are
a
in
question.
crisis.
Just re-say what you just
Yeah,
said.
but it spoilt the fun.
Just
It
re-say
spoilt
what
the
you.
fun.
Just repeat what you
I
just
feel
said.
a bit sorry for Leeds. I do.
Do you know what? You come out with some bonkers statements. You're not sorry one little bit that Leeds are as bad as what they are. No, you're not.
Yeah, trust me, it is. Laughing smiley, laughing emoji.
No, he's not, Jamie, is it? He's not. He's not at all.
Sandy's been on. She did the camera work on Facebook for the Toulouse Wolfpack game, so she's going to do it at the Summer Bash as well. So at least that's 2 people interested in broadcasting the event, because nobody else is. Elsewhere on social media...
What was it like at Hull Car yesterday for Sandy? It been half rain, didn't it, yesterday?
Oh,
You watched the
yeah.
Toronto game.
But I'll tell you what though, mate, as well, do you know, I'm sure we might touch on it as well, the new 1895 Cup, and they're having the Cup final.
Oh no, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, but
that's
I'm saying-
yeah.
Alright,
Yeah,
'cause I've
we'll
got-
talk about it, yeah.
Hold your
We'll talk about it.
hold your fire.
Hazel's on regarding one of the great bugbears in this. Everyone hates this and nothing ever gets done about it. Can I ask, are the water people now part of the team? I have never seen a water person be on the field so much and blatantly speak to players giving messages from the coaching staff. Not even offering water, but running on giving messages. I don't know which team.
They're
is
tra-
the Castle
they're trainers.
Falls.
Who was it?
Gotta be
Who I
Keith
saw
Singh.
the other week where the guy was in the defensive line and he was running. He was going, "Come on, up we go," and then going back, "Up we
I
go."
think-
And I'm like, "What's
I
he
think
doing?"
people.
That can't have been Leeds.
I think
No,
the
it
people
wasn't.
started
No,
it.
it wasn't.
I think the actual person who started decade
The
ago.
guy
I remember.
tried it. Sorry, the guy tried it, but all the players like that.
I'll tell you what.
It was that Manly when Des Hasler was coaching. Jeff Tuvey was the trainer, and he was literally organising the line like
Yes,
for 80 minutes.
That's what they were
Yeah.
doing.
And you remember when Cronulla
Oh,
played
Bradford Holiday.
Cronulla played Wigan in the World Cup Challenge, and Steve Price, who was then assistant,
Yes.
was on the field for about
Yeah.
52 minutes.
Did he get a medal?
He got booed off, I remember, and he was joking about it afterwards in the mix zone because he had dyed hair at that point, Steve. I don't know what was going on, midlife crisis or something. But,
Crisis for Price. Oh, yeah, we've broke it. What's
No,
that
I think we're still on. I'm just.
Thank you very much.
We should
yeah,
be.
that's an old.
You've
that's
not
an old
plugged it in, have you? Oh, for God's sake!
That was your job.
Oh, we're taking a break here. One job, sure, right. One job, sure, right.
It's because someone keeps turning these plugs off. I'm blaming that other TV person. I know he's watching. He's on Facebook, wasn't he? So I can blame Matt Shaw.
Well, you've had a shocker there. Facebook, we'll be back in a minute. What is he doing here? He's had an absolute Barry Crocker.
We're on, I think.
He's had a Barry Crocker there.
Barry, didn't he sing the theme from this?
Yeah. Glenn,
I think I've broken
apologies.
their phone.
You've broken it. I don't. Is it still working? I'm frozen on
Oh,
mine.
apparently it was a Salford. It was a lady. Says Hazel.
Right.
On the pitch, getting in the way.
Never you mind about that. You concentrate on mending that.
think
You
we're on
just
now.
brought. Are we back on? Are we?
The Man of Steel votes are out. Do you want me to go through them?
Go on.
Yeah, go on. See if you can redeem yourself.
Huddersfield versus St Helens, 3 points. Morgan Knowles, 2 points. Dominic Peru, 1 point. James Roby, Man of Steel 2019, so that's good. Hull versus Wakefield, 3 points. Danny Brough. Panelist comments, this can't be Scully. Brough dictated from the start, organised his pack well, excellent kicking game. 2 points. Go big old Paulie. You see his try? Wandering through the whole defence. Paulie, strong of the bench. And provided a great platform for Brough. 1 point. Big day for Fafita. Thorning FC side all game when he was on the pitch. Kept putting FC on the back
when
foot.
he wasn't on the pitch.
Did he lose that point for his pink shorts, or has that been allowed?
No, apparently they are shocking, aren't they? Leeds Rhinos, 3 points. Have a guess.
Right, have a guess. You'll never guess
This is
it.
a
I
quiz.
know who I gave it to.
Who did
What are you
you
doing?
League Express.
Go on, who do you give it to?
Policia.
Well, I would have made him the man of the match.
Well, he got 2 points, so
He got
you
2
get a ding on Family Fortune.
1 point, Reece Williams.
Yeah.
Who was
Who I thought had a poor game the
Who
other
was the
night.
person? Who was the Man of Steel rep?
Chimara?
No.
No, come on, I want to guess. You'll never
Defensive
guess. You,
side.
I'll guarantee you, right?
Ryan Hall.
If I give you 17 guesses,
Danny Maguire.
if I give you 17 guesses,
Well,
you won't
yeah,
get
We're
it.
not saying he had a bad game, by the way.
Liam Sutcliffe.
This is
No,
So Trent Merrin was the man of the match.
no,
Lower here.
no.
no.
Harry Newman.
I think if Lola here would have got the Man of Steel, man of the match from that, I would have demanded that reward was scrapped.
We knew
Right,
what it
because
was.
whoever was doing it,
Was he worse than he was at Hull? No, it couldn't have been.
I said
No.
to
No,
Mr.
no.
Cook, he was better than he was at Hull.
Yeah.
And
That wouldn't be hard.
I mean, you've seen it on our video. Cook, he said that's the worst Leeds performance he's seen in 20 years.
Yeah.
They were that bad. And they were better than they played at Hull.
And he's the
That's
man
how
who
bad
knows
they were
his
at Hull.
footy.
You still haven't got
You
this.
still haven't got it. Come on, who else could it possibly be?
Is it a Leeds player?
It's a Leeds
Yeah, a
player.
Leeds player.
A Leeds player won 3 points.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And Eddie Batty didn't get in the
Eddie Batty's not in. Eddie
Allegedly.
Batty, right? Just unbelievably good.
Leeds' best player
Ferris.
was Nathaniel Pettery.
No, not him.
Ferris.
No, not him.
He did have his
Ferris,
best
no,
game.
not him.
There's nobody left.
Who's left?
Who's left?
Frisco.
Chev
Tom
Walker.
Briscoe, did
Tom
he?
Briscoe.
Chev Walker.
Tom
Tom
Briscoe.
Briscoe. I mean, this is not a knock on
I
Tom
mean, he
Briscoe.
scored a nice try, don't get
But
me
how
wrong.
can you put Tom Briscoe and Reece Williams in? Because the try that Tom Briscoe got was making a fool of Reece Williams.
I thought Reece Williams, and we've seen him for Wales,
I think
he had
he's
a
a
poor
brilliant
game.
player.
Yeah, he's a good
By his
player.
standards, so he had a poor game.
And
Good bringing the ball
have
off
you
his
seen
line,
his try
but
scoring record
defensively
as well?
he got
Phenomenal.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Man of
He got
3
done.
points.
Got done for that
Twice
one, and he
he
got done under the high ball. didn't he?
Yeah.
3 points.
And Tom Briscoe, the ball bounced off his chest for
3 points.
London's first try.
Yeah. Maybe the guy was in the bar for that one. Or the lady, I don't know.
Should they not tell us who was?
Alan says, was it
Scully,
Ronnie the
wasn't
Rhino? Ronnie would have
she
deserved
wasn't.
it
Yeah,
more.
Ronnie,
decent
big
game.
fan of Ronnie. Yeah, I like
Decent
Ronnie.
game.
I was on Twitter.
How the hell can he get... I mean, he scored a try, don't you? I've no problem with
I'm a
that.
big fan of Tom Briscoe. I think the work that he does bringing the ball away is often unseen.
I've got some more comments soon as well.
He
Who's
clearly can't be the man at the
Warrington Wigan, 3 points Sarah Clark, 2 points Ben Curry, 1 point Stephen Rashford, no points Ben Westwood. Cass Salford, 3 points Paul McShane, 2 points Jackson Hastings.
Paul McShane who got sin bin for punching
Paul McShane.
Adam Walker.
Paul McShane.
Wow.
Well, the
There
star
you
of the
go.
match, Adam
I
Walker,
did.
according to the BBC match report. 1 piece
Not
from the
the
town.
game I was at.
Hull Kingston Rovers, Samasoni Langi, 3
Yes.
points.
Yeah, can't
George
take
Lawler, 2 points. Sam Tompkins, 1 point. Samasoni Langi made some game-breaking plays to get his team back in the game and eventually give them the lead
That's
with a
why they were
wonderfully
game
executed
breaking to
kick
get back in the game.
for Lewis Teeney's try to clinch the win. Thank you very much, unnamed panel member.
Yeah.
He's got a better, or he or she has got better.
How did Joel Tompkins not get a point for that try
It's a
where
great
he
try,
turned
wasn't
his
it?
brother
Yeah.
inside out? Every Christmas, you just have that on
Yeah.
a loop in the Tompkins house. Look at that, Sam. Look what I did to
or
you.
your Christmas
Over.
card would have
Oh,
that
just
on the cover.
embarrassing. You just held the ball at like a.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
We need
Let's
to,
do your
they,
bit.
They
Come
need
on.
to name the people that do. They've
So I can
named
out them on
they've named the 21
This
people
one.
who
You
are
mean
part
this
of the panel.
So you want you, want it?
No.
Do you promise? I reckon, sure, in fairness, even if you'd have had 12 pints, you wouldn't have picked Tom Briscoe.
And again, this
I'm
is
telling
not
you.
because people.
I'm back to
I'm
the score.
well, again this week I've got I've got Huddersfield OKR.
Oh, you're at Huddersfield, are you?
I'm at Huddersfield OKR.
Oh,
so
now
that's-
we
We'll
go
be
next
scrutinising next week.
yeah, so
The people are going to think we're having a go at Tom Briscoe. We're not having a go at Tom
No,
Briscoe.
he's a great player. 300th career.
He played
game.
all right,
And
but
he
he
did well.
wasn't
did
man
well.
of the match.
No.
Like you
No
said, I thought
leagues player.
Petteru, in the second half, I thought,
His
right,
first-
that's
his
why they've
first-
signed
his
him.
first
That's why
stint
they've
was
signed
really
him.
good as well.
Yeah, but his second one was
Yeah.
brilliant. On second half, he was outstanding.
He was Leeds' best player.
Yeah.
But Eloy Pelissier
Super,
ran
wasn't
that
he?
game from dummy half.
He did. I said he was my most important player. I think I voted on the old London website. I meant to wear my London shirt, but I've left it at home. I'm heartbroken. when I got it.
BP.
Joel says I'm rattled, but I don't know what I'm rattled by.
yeah. By the way, I got some nice messages from the biggest London. Ron
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 Knox.
Knox texted me nicely. Scoey, you're the only one who tipped us to win this week. Hey!
You're also the one who tipped
Oh,
them to finish 11th.
hold on,
Idiot.
right, so is everybody else. I was the only one who
Yeah,
tipped
that
him
was
this
out-
week.
out-
I was
that
the
was
only
purely
one
out of
to tip him
devilment.
this week.
Joey, I'm the one who's on
And
top
I
of
have
the...
got
yeah,
reasons
yeah.
why.
I'm on top of the tipping comp, not you.
Who is?
Me.
Yeah. I'm up to third now.
How can you be top of the tipping?
Just behind
comp?
Bruno in
I'm
second.
better than you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Support-
He gets a lot of things
You
right.
support
I've
Man
gone
U,
more local.
Yeah.
I'm second in the whole one, so
Yeah.
I'm doing alright.
It's a brilliantly cosmopolitan media tipping league. Australian top,
Yeah.
Frenchman second, Wakefield third. It's
Yeah.
all good.
Good
Yeah.
man.
Mark's asked, why are you... who is the Aussie on the panel who has a problem with Cass? Yes.
John Davison. Hello, Tim. John Davison is a Manly fan as well, and he's from Newcastle.
I'm anti-hole, anti-play.
Right. So
Yeah.
let's
Silvertail.
do some technical stuff then. The
This is
RFL statement that's come out today.
interesting because there's been a lot of talk between all of us and certainly on social media about expansion.
Yeah.
And you almost feel as if the RFL have been forced into making a statement about what is happening with what is known as at least 2 bids that are in to expand the sport. So today they have made a statement. I would imagine a lot of people have probably seen it, but I was just going to read it. Perhaps we could analyse it a little bit as it goes. The board of the Rugby Football League considered at last week's meeting an application to relocate Hemel Stags and another new application to launch a club in New York. Both applications are judged to have the potential to help deliver the RFL's strategic vision. Question 1. What is the RFL's strategic vision?
Or lack thereof.
No, there might be one,
No,
but
what
you
is
can't say it meets it if you don't
There can't
tell
be one if
everybody
there's no
what
evidence of
is
it.
it
what
framing the
is?
future still?
I don't know. It just seems bizarre.
Framing
They
the
are at
past.
different stages, but a degree of further due diligence and assessment is required on both to ensure that the financial and business plans presented are deliverable. Therefore, this is a statement that says there is no statement. Because if you're not doing due diligence and you're not assessing the financial and business plans, you're not doing your job. So
But Phil, Scully's great mate Nigel went out to New York
Yeah.
over a year ago.
Hold on. Best mate.
Sorry, best mate.
But what I'm saying is,
BFF.
you can't really put out a statement saying we're analysing something, and our statement to you is that we're analysing.
But he went out to New York more than a year ago to do a report. So how much due diligence in 13 months?
But I'm.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's in addition, the board recognises the importance of further expansion, having the support of the other clubs, but not all the other clubs. Accordingly, the board has asked each of the consortia to present to and take questions from the existing Betfred Championship and League One clubs. So not the Super League clubs. So we could let clubs in, but Super League then decide that
You're
they
not
don't
coming
want
in.
them promoted.
Yeah.
After which the RFL will gauge support. But again, if we're talking about 2 teams potentially in North America, don't they need to play at a level where the other current team is from North America to make this viable in terms of the financial and business plan and everything else, I suppose? It just seems such a piecemeal way of going about
Well,
it.
it's an
And
ambiguous
a
statement. It doesn't say
statement.
anything.
No,
does it?
it's a
It's a statement that
non-statement.
doesn't say anything. It's like
Yeah.
Wiggins. Oh, we're
It's
trying
like,
to get hold of
it's
it.
like we have to make a statement, so here's a statement. Yeah, but your statement
I
doesn't
suppose
say anything.
there has been mistruths put out there that clubs have blocked these expansion bets and that there's been a vote against them,
You can't
which
ask
has
only-
actually got traction from some fans are going, oh, this is an outrage, when
How-
there's been no vote and there's been no blocking. So at
How
least
can
this
you have
points out that that's
a strategy when it doesn't include the whole game, which
Well,
is what
that's-
we said
yeah,
about the
that's the
split.
But is
between
this
Super League and the
another
RFL.
example now that sadly this split hasn't been
Absolutely.
thought about because there's
No.
still things coming out of the woodwork going. "Oh," I'm sure the people in Manchester with a divide in the office go, "Hey, are you doing this or is this?" And they screw it up, throw it over the wall.
And the
so you deal
RFL,
with it.
who
They
we,
don't know, do
the
they?
RFL, who we know is short of money at the moment, is now looking for a marketing executive.
The RFL are short on money. Where does most money come into our game from?
TV.
Apart from benevolent owners who have got loads of money
TV.
to throw away. TV. Sky Television, who yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports, whatever,
Mix. Was it Mix?
Arena, whichever one, showed
4-0 something.
Hull Kingston Rovers versus Catalan Dragons at 3 o'clock. Sky, who put the most money into the game, had competition at that point, not just from football or golf or whatever, from Rugby League, Widnes versus Bradford, on the RFL's own app.
Makes perfect
Why?
sense.
Sky would have been happy
why-
about that, yeah.
Why? I think the Championship clubs, and this goes back to the statement from the fella from Barrow.
Just have 5 minutes, lads. He's ready to go now. Go on.
I think this goes back to that statement, and it goes back to that press conference they all held last year and said, "Oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to get a TV deal, and do this and do that." They've killed themselves. Them wanting more coverage of the Championship and League One, which is via an app because they can't get a TV deal for it, because Sky showed no interest whatsoever because no one's interested,
Which may come down to why they're not going to show the Blackpool match.
and they've screwed it up for everyone. Oh, we've got to have more games on the app. So we're going against Sky, and
Well,
now Sky's saying, "Oh, we might not show it."
Rich, as someone at Sky pointed out to me last week, they had, what, Thursday night championship for how many years? What did they do with that? They get huge audiences, big ratings, lots of sponsors? No.
No. What you find is all us that watch it like it because it's another game we can watch. Because let's be fair, if it was a game on, we'd watch it, wouldn't we? You know, and we watch games. It's not attracting anyone new. That's the problem, as you said. It's not bringing
But
new
you look,
viewers.
you
to
look at
Sky.
Summer Bash this year, you've got Catalans playing Wigan at the Nou Camp,
Yeah.
Barcelona, a historic event
Yeah.
on the Saturday.
So what we're all going to be
So
watching?
what should the emphasis be on?
Yeah,
Let's be
exactly.
honest.
What we're all going to be watching. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've written for the last 3 years, I think, in 4020, saying I'm not really quite sure what the point of the Summer Bash is, but
And
the
I
people
get
there
it,
enjoy
won't
it.
you?
Yeah, the people there enjoy it because it's basically just a up at the.
Should it
seaside.
be the Summer Bash, a poor man's magic, come and
Well,
enjoy
they
it all?
should not bother having it.
Well, there's no relevance to it. What again? What is the plan? Why is it going to Blackpool? You know,
It doesn't make money either.
You know, what have we got? A Coventry.
Well,
It's
it
a
costs
decent
them money.
stadium.
It doesn't make them.
Oh, speaking of commentary, and this is my own opinion and nothing to do because I've not spoken to anyone at the club, but how big of a mess is it that because of through no fault of their own, they have to postpone their own home game, which they've sold tickets for, hospitality or whatever,
Against one of the bigger teams in the league.
because of the weather in the northwest? Why can't if you're entering the Challenge Cup, right? You should be able to play a fixture in midweek, and I know player welfare or
So-
whatever.
And
but-
yes, one of them's a community club, so it would have been difficult for Siddle to get up to Workington.
Tough.
In.
Because non-league football teams,
But also as well,
play midweek all the time. I know rugby league and football are different things, but they do it.
but I was told yesterday about Coventry because I know a couple of Workington people who were going down to Coventry, but so they had to cancel the hotel, lost all the hotel money, and Coventry now as well. I was told yesterday, over the next 10 weeks, they've only got one home game, so they're on the road for 9
Wow.
weeks. We were
It's
talking about
Toronto
cash
style.
flow. It's absolutely ridiculous. They've only got one fixture in 10 weeks.
It's unfortunate. I'm with you though. I think the cup one should have been.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you're saying, what about the amateurs? Well, those lads at working and all
No,
work,
I'm
don't
just
they?
saying.
They've
Yeah,
got to go
they've
the
got
way.
trouble. Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous.
And someone just said about what's the point of the Summer Bash, Mark saying what's the point of the Magic Weekend? Well, I think questions are going to be asked about that, aren't they? Because there's enough talk around the game about ticket sales and
It goes back to you. What's the plan? Why is it in
Yeah.
Liverpool? Why is it in Liverpool?
But again, that's been decided by Super League, who presumably have got more money than Newcastle are offering this year. But holistically,
Well, have they?
Well,
Or is it Mr. Elson that knows the city well because he used to work there
But-
and said, "Oh, we'll come here."
But holistically, how does that fit in with? We decided to kick off the next World Cup in Newcastle, and we should be building up everything between now and then by giving Newcastle
And all these
as many
figures,
events.
all
as
these
they can.
figures about kids playing in Newcastle in the northeast, which we know that we can see it. We should be supporting that. You know, the guy at Newcastle, and Dennis Betts is back in, by the way.
Yeah,
Well
great
done to
great
him.
Director
appointment.
of rugby.
Yeah.
Director of rugby. We should be saying, is Robert Elson saying to that guy, can you finance a Super League team? Because we want a Super League team in Newcastle. Are you prepared if we in 3 years turn around and say, right, we want to give you, are you in? We need to be asking him. We need to be asking Coventry. And all right, Coventry are a League One team that lives to its means and might not even want to ever be in Super League, other than building up as they are now. But there's a big stadium there that's owned by Wasps. Could there be some? I don't know. Could there be a Coventry? Could there be a Coventry in Super League and a Coventry in League One, for instance? I don't know. But are we talking? And if you come back to your plan,
That's the
this
thing.
is when we're going back to New York City. New York City might have the best, greatest business plan ever, right? But Super League turn around and go, well, you're not getting in, so don't bother. They're going to spend 10 million quid playing in the Championship in 5 years. What's the point in that?
The other
So again, are they, as Robert Elston done, and we've mentioned this in us after, so we mentioned this 3 months ago. What is he actually doing? Is he just here to get a TV deal, or is he looking at the game and saying we need to be doing it? And then what is the plan? Exactly. What is the plan? Where does it? What's it going to look
You
like?
can't bring in potentially 2 more teams of North America. You're asking clubs who can barely stay alive with the money that they've got at the moment to ask them if we should have teams in a different continent.
Here's one for you,
Their
Phil. Here's one
perspective
for
on
you.
where the sport is at the moment.
Here's one for
What
you then.
Hunslet need out of the game.
Well, all right. So the teams in League One, then, if you went to the teams in League One, West Wales, Keighley, North Wales, London, Coventry, Donny, Whitehaven, Oldham, Workit, Newcastle, and said, right, lads, we're bringing these lads in. They're going to be spending $2 million a year on players.
You're not
going to get promoted.
X,
So
Y,
what
Z.
would you rather have? We'll give you 25 grand, and we'll give everyone 25 grand, and we'll just put them in the Championship. Are you all right with that? They'd probably go, yeah, just do that and give us the 25 grand.
That's my point. The flip side is they shouldn't be going into League One. You shouldn't,
Exactly.
because they're going to go out and buy top players, probably NRL players. And should they be playing against 18-year-old university
I agree
students
with
who
that.
have got a...
But
And
I
also,
also-
if you're trying to sell rugby league in New York, a city that is used to seeing the best of every sport, why would you show
But they
third-tier
have
rugby?
to be playing Toronto,
But
and
did-
Toronto
yeah,
aren't in League
yeah.
One.
Well,
anymore.
no,
But did
And aren't going to
Toronto have to be the guinea pig?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there was always going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Players can't get visas. Players are
Yeah.
staying in this place. It's
Yeah.
not good enough.
Yeah.
So someone, I think, had to lay the platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are we speaking as a sport to Toronto? Right, Toronto, what happened? What's gone wrong? What's gone right? What works? What doesn't work? Because
No.
we need to tell these guys.
No, we're just saying.
Because
could-
we're going to sit
could
there.
you
Right?
give us-
Are you aware this might happen or that might happen? Can you underwrite that cost? Is there any joined up thinking? I
No,
don't think there is.
we're
I
just
don't think
saying,
there
can
is.
you give us £500,000 if you want to be in the Challenge Cup, please?
So all you're doing to those teams in the bottom division, and basically, if you let them in, and I want them to be in, I want it as long as they can finance
if it
it. I want
stacks
them in,
up economically.
right? We've seen the Rugby Championship. The teams go from South Africa, New Zealand.
You said rugby league and joined up thinking.
Well, yeah.
What are you
but
drinking?
You've got to, well, exactly. I'm on Phil's
But
vodka.
this goes to Aaron's point here in saying another contradiction tonight, knocking the summer bash, and every week before this you saying how good it is being from rugby interest around Newcastle. We get mixed up with the Magic weekend there, but there's a team in Newcastle. There's been a team in Newcastle since
Why is it going to
1999.
Blackpool, Alan?
There's
That's
no
the
team.
question.
There's no team in Liverpool for the Magic weekend, despite what other people may tell you. There's no Liverpool City Rugby League Football Club, just like there's no Cumbrian Lakers. There's no Blackpool team anymore. Blackpool don't exist. The Summer Bash was invented, in my opinion, as a sop to Championship clubs because the Magic weekend exists. And go, look, no, there's a channel. Look, Super League have got their weekend. You can have your weekend.
And
Have
it
your little
skews
weekend.
both competitions on the field as well as the dynamic of whether it works off the field.
If you had 40,000 people or 30,000 people turn up for 2 days, or big, a sales book, and clubs were making money,
And a
all
huge
great for the summer bash.
proportion of
but
those
it's not
people
happening.
turning up were from a
They
new
were new
area.
fans, yeah. But
Fine.
it doesn't happen.
Fine. But the other thing about, I mean, again, the NRL are copying us. They're having a Magic weekend in Brisbane this year. But that's part of the competition. Half of those teams have seeded a home game
Yeah.
for that to be an event for the
You've
sport.
got completely flipped where you've got competition in the NRL where the players have a lot of power, probably the most power, and we're not going to play X amount of games. While here, the owners have all the power, and players have no power. We'll play as many games as we
We'll
want.
play twice over Easter.
Yeah, we'll play 3 times a day if Yeah.
You can turn around 5 days after playing in Perpignan and play again on the Thursday.
It's going to be the Magic Weekend is going to be a fascinating event test.
It's going to be interesting because I haven't checked the football fixtures, but isn't that about the time that Liverpool could be either playing in the European Cup final,
She's around the
or
FA
winning,
Cup
or
final,
winning the
isn't it?
Premiership, or there is going to be such a football focus on the city of Liverpool. Will we even scratch the surface by then?
I don't know if we scratch the just before we get on to
might be interesting if that's the case and they did get there, that you don't have a game on when that's on. You say, well, it's a tenner come in and we'll put it on the big screen all around the ground.
Well, good thing last
maybe
week
make some money that way.
Liverpool actually were promoting it through their Twitter account and to their season ticket holders, which they didn't do for the England New Zealand test. So that's already a step in the right direction.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. If lessons are being learned and there's a plan, but why is it there? That's what I do. Is it there because they've paid 250 grand? That's what I don't know. Why are we taking it away from somewhere? And I go back. Has the conversation been had with a guy at Newcastle? If he can afford to have a team in the Premiership and the Rugby Union, he can afford to have one in Super League. Let's not kid anyone.
He's got his Premiership rugby team getting relegated quite soon. So,
are they?
Well, they're bottom.
They're
far
bottom. Are they going to close the thing up? So Yorkshire County.
They're like when Wigan get relegated. When they're bottom this year, they'll be.
Not a moratorium.
Batley, who bravely fought their way through the Championship, would be.
Toronto
would
can't
be kicked
come
out
up because
some
it could be
of
Wigan getting relegated.
Yeah,
Sheffield Eagles, they're going up.
The Eagles.
Yeah.
And
the Eagles and the Blades to get promoted. What a double ladder bit.
I'm not going to get into Leeds in crisis, but briefly, I will be quick on this one. Well, no, quickly.
Been there for 2 years.
Here's the test to see if anyone can pay attention to how other people work. England women's football team have just sold out a friendly ahead of the World Cup, 8,000 tickets at Man City's little stadium. The England rugby union team who smashed Scotland at the weekend.
See, nobody said that game was valueless just because it finished 18.
Well, I mean, the idiots who post on the BBC
we get far too
hung up. But they won that, and there was lots of media coverage for that because guess what? It was on normal television. And again, people will say, "Yeah, but you're comparing apples and oranges." No, I'm not. They all started from somewhere, didn't they? And they all had a media pushing them because everyone's well aware that until some people said some things they shouldn't have done on the telly, no one gave a toss about women's sport in the media, but now everyone does. And now look where the football is, and look where the rugby union is, and the cricket who won the World Cup last year.
Governing bodies paid for a lot of that coverage to kickstart it.
And look what we're doing, we're putting our games on an app, not on for people to watch. And the Telegraph have just launched a Women in Sports section. I understand today. I don't read the Telegraph. I only read newspapers with pictures in, like the League Express and League Weekly and the Daily Star. I don't like big words. I have to have things explained to me. But I'm sure there'll be lots of hockey in there and lots of netball and football and rugby union, as I've said. But will there be any rugby league in there? Who knows? Because who knows that our sport exists? I don't know how many people are going to turn up to the Super League launch in a couple of weeks. I hope loads of people do, media-wise. But what are we doing? We've got to push it. We've got to push it. The RFL, right? Yeah, they've got the Championship and League One, but this is actually the thing that they could make big. Do they realise that?
Well, let's be fair. Did they realise it until they got the game on that we ourselves and proper sport put on? Yeah, ultimately. If we hadn't pushed for that, it wouldn't have been on. I don't even think they'd stream any games now.
If I said to someone today, the great thing about Women's Super League is that all these teams have recognisable names that people know.
The quality of the sport deserves coverage. We're not saying it doesn't. No. Because what sold that cup final wasn't the coverage. It was the fact that the game was so damn good.
And the fact of the matter is, when they're showing these amateur games in the Challenge Cup, the men are playing, people haven't heard of these places. The draw for the Women's Challenge Cup was made last week, the preliminary round. I only read about it because I was reading the amateur section in League Express because I was looking to see if they were making up reasons why the NTL's not on TV anymore. The draw's been made. I think the Army and the Navy are in there. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, if I didn't send me a press release.
All right. What is, again, I'll go back to the RFL, you know, what is, are the clubs, and you mentioned Barrow earlier, Barrow broke ranks last week and pretty much put the boot in on the RFL.
Scully's former club.
Scully's former club, never been the same since Des Johnson left. They put the boot in, basically, the RFL, big time. They have gone berserk, saying we're not getting any income, there's no TV, there's no sponsorship, we can't sell tickets for big events. Are those clubs starting to worry now that the drawbridge is being pulled up? And what is the RFL's big plan to get money into the sport? Because we've already mentioned about the TV coverage. Someone is going to have to pay a significant amount of money to keep the RFL, to keep the League One and Championship funded as it is funded now. Is that going to happen moving forward? Is the plan to monetise the app, the Our League app? Well, if it is, surely they're going about it the wrong way. They're having, like you said, they're having games on at times when there is 2 Super League games on, one of which is on the TV, and all the other Championship and League One games are on. So immediately, and I would suggest, out of the 100,000 that we're led to believe have joined Our League, now I'd be interested how many of them joined it to watch the England game or whatever before the World Cup, and how many actually are active members that are on it every week. How many of those that are active members that were actually at games that couldn't watch the game anyway because it's on when they're at a game already? And as we said to them, you need to, if you're going to have it on an Our League app, you need to allocate a time when it has got its own time. So it might be 12 o'clock on a Sunday, there's going to be a game on the Our League app. You get into people's mentality, there's going to be a game on every week, doesn't matter what it is, there's going to be a game on every week. You'll watch it and think, oh, I might watch it and go to the club and watch my team play after. Or I might go to League, because I'm a League fan, and watch it on the telly, because we'll get it on the telly in the bar, go have a few pots, go watch the game, day out of the rugby. They aren't doing that. There's no joined up thinking.
I have a horrible feeling that what they're doing at the moment is to prime the fans of Championship and League One clubs to pay for an electronic season ticket. So you're going back to the same well all the time.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
I'm not sure that that's enough.
No, there's not enough there, is there?
No.
And that's the problem. And I think those clubs now are starting to realise, hang on, we've got a problem here because we can't even cope now
and
when we're getting bailed out by the Super League.
To the statement today saying we're now going to ask those clubs what the future of the sport should look like. You can't. You have
just
to.
More advocating leadership.
Why is the RFL board distancing itself from making some of the most important decisions it's there to make by throwing that decision on?
But why are the RFL board making
decisions
that really should be made by Super League? Because ultimately it's a Super League call.
Make a decision.
Well, alright, so you say to Ricky Wilby and the guy, people wanted to know if Scully's passed away because he hasn't moved or spoken for half an hour, but he's waiting for Leeds in crisis.
He's flexing.
Your conversations just get a little bit deep, so you know me.
I've noticed
people are just worried for your welfare.
He's been breathing in for about half an hour as well, which is
it's that shirt that's tight.
His face
is nearly as pink as his shirt.
It's worse than my cardigan.
Well,
by Peter.
I lost someone asked earlier if my super dry deal had run out.
Oh,
no. Then your skin tight London bro.
Don't even talk about dress things. You look like Val Dooney can sat there, to be honest with you.
That's one for our younger
What's
listeners.
wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
By the way, Pat, the Leeds in Crisis and Wigan in Crisis t-shirts, will they be on sale at the Magic Weekend? We'll have to ask Mascot, the Browns have been in their stand. We'll get your lad to stand outside Anfield. Tenner a t-shirt. Get them online.
So I think they're starting to worry now, these League One. And look, I'm not belittling that, but as a sport, have we got a plan as to what we're going to do?
No.
You know, like we had,
it was
don't
a very
forget,
brave piece.
Ralph's plan B for the old cup final. We're a winner. I wouldn't even be worried if I were a Championship League.
They're giving tickets now to anybody who's ever played in a cup.
Oh
final.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Scott, you mentioned the 1895 Cup final. I got reprimanded for unfairly criticising the RFL last week on social media. I was told it was unfair because, and this is the reason I'm giving, and this is legit, I'm not having a dig back, they wanted to play the 1895 Cup final before, but because it was such a late deal with Wembley that they could add another game on, it was logistically impossible with the TV and everything like that. So the deal is, they've said to the clubs, we can do the cup, but you probably have to play after the game. And I think they've said, look, we'd rather do it and go. So I think the plan is, hopefully in the future, it will be before. So I think it's one of them. It's either have the cup at Wembley or don't have it. Don't have it. It's up to you.
Mike, to be honest with you, when you saw the game against the Ilkeston Rovers and and then it was battling Toronto after. It's going to be exactly the same at Wembley. It's going to be an embarrassment. So rather than rush into something,
Yeah, but in
let's do
fairness,
it
how are you going to
properly.
know? Because you might not be on the telly, so you might not even see it. So you wouldn't know, would you?
No, but at the end of the day, you know, you'll get more supporters down, and more supporters will stay. You know, 1895 Cup, it should be literally a curtain raiser. So if it was too rushed this year, and the BBC couldn't do it, let's wait another 12 months and bring it in.
Yeah, but I almost agree with it. But we'll go back to what we said when we were saying you need this competition. You need this competition. When Bradford draw Halifax, or Fev get Lee, or Widnes get Lee, or whoever it is in a semi-final, there'll be two massive crowds there. Well, that's assuming where the game's going to be played. We don't know if they're going to be at home, they're going to be away, they're going to be played
it's
together.
also assuming none of those clubs are in the Challenge Cup semi-final.
Yeah, look, I'm not so sure that's going to happen,
But it could.
it needs sorting out. It needs sorting out. It's another example.
But
Let's be fair. It's another example of the RFL not knowing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Well, it's an example
so if
of
we're going to do
it.
something properly, let's do it properly.
Yeah, fair enough.
You
I agree with
don't
that.
finish announcing something until all the logistics are in place.
How have they not determined whether it's going to be the semi-finals? I would have thought that, you know, again, I'm sure if Bradford drew Halifax at home in a semi-final, there'd be 10,000 there. With a chance to go to Wembley if you win, there'd be 10,000 there. That's going to make those clubs a lot of money. You know, if it's Lee Widnes, it'd be the same again. There'd be a big crowd there because it's the chance to go to Wembley. But we don't even know. This is like you said. These are the people running the game. That can't run the game. They're not fit for purpose. We've said it before.
You see also as well. I'm lucky enough now to get invited to Wembley every year. What's going to be an interesting fact is after the main Challenge Cup game, how many of the Iraq will be watching the 1895 Cup Challenge?
Brian will be there. That's part of his job.
How many people will be sat in their
Bringing
seats?
the tea.
You know, sat in our lovely posh seats. How many's going to be watching the game?
Brian will be there.
I bet you there ain't too bloody many, because we'll be for sure. The beer's flowing, the food's flowing. There won't be too many watching it.
No, there won't be any beer or food now. We've got on the 18.
There won't be too many watching it. Do you know what I mean? So, no, again, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. As we just said 2 minutes ago, we're going to do something properly. Let's get it organised properly. Let's do it properly.
We spent a lot of the last 12 months courting the Hearns, who obviously do a great job with the PDC.
What are they now?
Courting.
Hold on.
Courting the Hearns, but we're just the BDO.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine on pay-per-view, on the old boxing, you know, you've got 12 fights and then Anthony Joshua's on. So why do you buy it? You buy it to watch Anthony Joshua and you sit through the rest to watch it.
Yeah.
If they said Anthony Joshua's on at 7 o'clock, everyone would be switched off at 7:30.
Exactly.
And going, oh, cheers, you've paid me 20.
The crowd would be gone.
I really don't care about the others.
You stay for the debutant against the 58-year-old guy with 42
exactly.
losses.
Yeah, the guy that 964 losses. He won once, but that was because the judge was drunk.
The 1895 Cup will be on the R League app.
It won't be on the BBC for sure.
It might not be this year. I think that's got to be the plan, hasn't it, for next year? But these are things.
The other thing about the 1895 Cup, where I absolutely agree we should have delayed it, is in 2020 it's changing its time anyway, isn't it? It's going back to July.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect time to revamp the competition.
Yeah.
And as part of
We've got a
that,
year
you
to
spend
plan
a
it.
year to discuss with the broadcast.
I mean, you still could have had the 1895 Cup, but just have the final at Edinburgh.
But
exactly. You wouldn't have been any different.
The other thing is, why, the 1895 Cup can still be broadcast. I'm sure the BBC, with enough time, would have put it on the red button. At least it would have still been on the BBC.
They could do that if they wanted.
Exactly.
They could do. Don't buy
But
it.
even though, but also as well, we've not even
But
got a sponsor for it now, have we?
No.
Tell me
We've got a sponsor for it.
Go on.
You know, at the end of the Challenge Cup final, the team goes up, gets the cup, goes and all that, and then
And
they
just
go on the
laugh about
pitch, and then some fireworks go off and confetti. We can't have any of that now this year, can
Well,
we?
we will have all of that.
But then they've got to get rid of it.
I've had a request. Can we move that block? Someone can't see on the telly.
Aha.
Yeah, sorry.
I was playing for last year.
Someone's asked where the Championship Grand Final's been held. I don't know. Maybe
Headingley.
Headingley. Oh, is it Headingley? Oh yeah, of course it is. The one with the Women's Challenge Grand Final.
I don't know if that's been announced yet.
The Women's Grand Final.
Was it
No.
not? Is that an
Championship
exclusive?
round.
Is that an exclusive?
I'm going to say I didn't think I'd heard of it.
Breaking news. Get a tick. Where's the sticker on the bottom?
Oh no, we'll have
Can
to
we
read
get
it
Scott
later.
to pull a bit of rope along with it written on?
Andy says Scully looks like a pink traffic cone.
I've never seen a traffic cone that wide.
Let's see. Well, apparently the Champions League final's on the 1st of June.
Cheeky.
So,
Where's he from? Bilal has to be making a call.
Tim says, and lots of people said this, so we should mention it. How good was John Bateman for Canberra?
Oh,
English
we can
forward
mention
teaching
that.
the Aussies how he's
Got
done
the
as
stats
usual. Immense.
Go on then. Start us up.
So yeah, 80 minutes, 155 run meters, 53 post contact meters, 36 tackles, from 19 runs and 5 tackle breaks.
Yeah, Phil as well. I just want to quote John Bateman. Do you know, like he's saying, it takes players time to set. Hold on.
Some players.
Hold on. It
Dan
takes
Sargent.
players time to settle in. It takes players time to get used to the so-called
Most
culture.
players.
John Bateman's made a great comment. Do you know what? I'm from Bradford. I can't believe in camera. It's only just took me a week, maybe 2 to get settled in. Don't take long, Phil. Don't take long
You
if you
could
want to
see
do it.
him watch the game. It
Don't
was
take long if you want to do
pouring
it.
rain,
By the
and
source.
he was
I
gassed.
watched it. I loved it.
And did you see how gassed he was? And he said, I think he said after the game about the 2 refs and the speed.
Yeah.
But the thing also that was interesting was Ryan Sutton came on, I think, for about the last 12 minutes. He looks like he's lost about 10 kilos. Like, he looked really fit.
He was very
But
impressive. But also
because Ricky Stewart's flogged them in the off-season and worked on their defence because that's their Achilles heel.
Ricky Stewart, by all accounts, has brought in a fatigue coach or psychologist because they lost 9 games out of 10
That's
the
exactly-
last 10 minutes.
That's
by
exactly
about-
what Leeds need at the moment. If you get his
What,
address,
fatigue
a
coach?
fatigue
Well, and John Bateman.
They need a fatigue coach.
To counter the John Bateman is pretty exceptional. Sam Tompkins, when he went to New Zealand Warriors, said it wasn't the fact that he couldn't play the game. It wasn't relearning the game. It's the fact that he couldn't get used to new teammates because he was ingrained in the way that he'd been taught to play for so long, and that was harder than anything. So it does take certain players who might be very, very good.
Well, obviously, you're talking to the wrong person here because I don't believe in it. I don't
John
believe in any of
Bateman's
that sort of
performance was exceptional.
On debut,
Exceptional.
Can't wait for him to
But
get back
not
to
necessarily the not. Well, the Wigan fans. The one thing that must be cheering them up, knowing they're not getting Sean Edwards, is that in 2021 John's coming back.
You know, the great thing about with John Bateman yesterday as well is that, you know, the Aussie forwards are trying to intimidate him.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the Aussies would have been giving him a bit of sledging as well. And you know,
Have you seen the thing? You will have seen it on your Nokia, whatever it is. Have you seen it when he threatened to throw the ball?
Waves
Yeah,
the ball.
yeah.
Oh, he
Hold
wants
on,
to
I do
get
have a television, you know. It's only a portable, black and white, but
He stands on the roof with the air.
But this is what I'm saying here. You know, I would imagine the Aussies, every single one of them would have been sledging him. They would have been ripping him. And the great thing about it was he never took a backward step. And then when he threatened to throw that ball, and I thought exactly. It just shows you
To be fair to the Aussies wouldn't have known what he was saying back, would they? I wouldn't have thought.
Apparently, Josh Hodgson is his translator.
And he's from Hull.
Yeah. He was actually Josh Hodgson was outstanding.
Was better actually than
Phil. You just mentioned that Leeds might need a fatigue coach. I've done my stats here, and I'm not a stat man. I am not a stat man.
So he's made them up.
Right. So, right then. So when you look at all Leeds games so far, how many have we played? 7.
Yeah, but look at last year.
Hold on. Phil, why are we talking about last year?
Because how many games did they lose late on last year? That's the barrier that they cannot get over.
Are you from the Eddie Jones coaching school?
I think
learning the 2015 psychology.
I think psychology does have a part
So
what
the Leeds coach has said so far is that we've only played certain minutes in each of the 7 games, right? Leeds can't be tired because I've worked it all out, right? I've worked it all out. They have only played literally 85 minutes of decent rugby at 480. How the bloody hell do they need a fatigue coach?
Because at the end of the difference between the two teams on Friday was summed up in that last 6 minutes. One team that does not know how to close a game out to win one, and another team that never knows when it's beaten and didn't.
Phil, it was summed up in the first 45 minutes.
No, I don't
when London stuck to a game plan and Leeds haven't got one.
I think with
it was.
With 5 minutes to go.
We all knew. You said it in commentary. I said it in commentary.
No, I just said if they
conceded, London scored, they would win the game.
But I think
that's what happened.
That's psychological.
Right, they were 8-0 down after. Dave Furness said, "I don't think we played too bad tonight. I nearly fell over." And what? You were awful. First half, right, Gary? London, and let's not. This Leeds in crisis. London was superb.
Let's talk about
the game plan.
Exactly.
Stuck to the game plan. At 16-8, I think everyone in that ground thought London have gone here. The gas are on their own line. You know what? They kept turning up for each other. They stuck at it, and then they thought, "Hang on, we'll have a go at this. This is the great thing. What Danny Ward is doing this season. He's highlighted what games they can win and what games they can't. Right? What did I say last week? London were coming to beat Leeds because against St Helens, and this, if I'd have been a Leeds player or even part of that coaching staff or whatever, right, I would have been to my Leeds players the week before.
against St Helens, London, great man management by Danny Ward and the coaching staff there, because they knew going to Leeds, they could beat Leeds. The week before at Saints, they rested 5 of the best players in preparation to play Leeds. That is not coaching, that is man management. Reverse that, if I'm a Leeds player on the coaching staff, I'm saying, London, they're giving us no respect whatsoever. They think they could drop 5 of the best players, put 5 players in there, come here and turn us over. What more motivation do you want to say? Tell you what, we're blowing them away in the first 40 minutes. And what did I say? The pressure, Leeds, I'm led to believe, at half-time got booed off. I said that would happen because it was 8-0 down at half-time. Handling the pressure, whether they can handle it, I wasn't at the game, so I'm not so sure. They managed to take the lead 16-8.
They handled it for 35 minutes.
Well, you're saying 35 minutes game. The game for 80 minutes. They're only playing London. They've just come up from the Championship. We got beat last year at home by Toronto in the Championship.
Hey,
we're just not good enough.
You tipped London for top 5 a few weeks ago.
Well, why wouldn't I?
You want?
But they play all the Huddersfield next 2 weeks at home.
But what I'm saying is, with the man management from Danny Ward, and you know what? London, they would have picked the next 4 victories, because I reckon London, they only need 4 games, 4 victories to stay in Super League.
But you
they
think
need
7 wins?
7 wins, it'll keep you in Super League.
I think
so now, what I'm saying about Leeds, as I mentioned, and I said with Huddersfield as well, where are they going to win the next 6 games? How are they going to win 6 games? Oh, well, I'll throw Wigan there as well, Phil. Because Leeds and Wigan, forget about Huddersfield, they're not getting anywhere near the top 5. Leeds and Wigan aren't going near the top 5.
In that first... Oh, sorry.
They're not. And just let me just finish on this a little bit. So, it's not. This is how serious I'm
Quick,
saying.
hit him, John.
This is how I'm going here. Leeds are the next 6 fixtures, right? What I'm saying, where's the next win going to come from? We've got Catalans away. We've got Castleford at home. Ulkiston Rovers away. Huddersfield Giants at home should be a win. Then we go to Wakefield and then Hull KR at home. So the next 6 fixtures, you might say, Huddersfield at home, Ulkiston Rovers at home. And after how many games is that?
Gareth,
5, 6,
to be
7,
fair,
8, 10,
not many of us the other week had said London would beat Wigan. Not many of us have said Salford would beat
The key element in it all is Danny Ward.
Right.
I mean, the job that he's doing, he's just outstanding. I mean, to get them up in the first place and then what they're doing now.
But what he's doing, he's not his coaching, his man managing. The fixtures where he can win. Rather than you tell me then, who are Leeds going to beat the way they're playing?
What
this is serious now, Leeds.
What would say about Leeds?
I'm concerned. I'm an ex-Leeds captain. I'm a Leeds fan. I'm concerned.
Let me reply. Ask me a question.
Sorry?
West Wales? Probably a bit West Wales.
Oh, don't you get West Wales fans on to you?
Yeah.
Because they entered a couple of weeks.
They have played all right in patches. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just checking you the minutes. I'm just giving you the minutes.
They played well here. They played well there. They did this. They did that.
But back, I'll tell you, Warrington, very, very poor. It was a soft performance by everybody.
No, I know. We all know.
The week after, Wigan 20 minutes. St Helens 25 minutes.
I watched them the last 2 weeks live. They've been awful.
Wakefield 10, Hull 10.
They've been awful. The forward pack ain't aggressive enough. Right? The team is not good enough.
Correct.
If Conrad Hurrell, right, touch wood, I hope he don't get injured. If Conrad Hurrell gets injured, Leeds have got no threat. London, clearly, on the other night went, we're having him. When it gets to him, we're having him. Dixon and Morgan were outstanding against him.
Yeah.
They kept him out.
Well, that's great coaching.
He's their threat.
Correct.
He's their threat.
Right.
There's nothing, right? Myler, whatever people have had you.
Let's move
No. People have had you about Myler, right? He's taking the easy way out now. He's standing there looking all right while his mate Lola here is drowning, rapidly drowning. They're hard, and what I will say about Lola here, he keeps coming for the ball. So he's not a bottler. He keeps coming for it. He ain't got the game.
That's not his game to be taking.
Well,
the
this
ball.
is what I mean. It's more like Myler catching it and passing it on. His kicking game the other night was a disgrace. It was Abdul. Every time he kicked it, landed 10 metres from the line and went above the stand every time. You know, Briscoe and Walker caused them a couple of problems. They dealt with it fair enough. Leeds don't have that. It's all half-assed. It really is.
So another problem. Well, go on and say, because Leeds is our club, as you well know, right? The other problem Leeds have got. How can they drop anybody?
Well, I asked that question. Why did he play the same 13 that let him down?
So how can they drop anybody? When I've looked at the players who were at Featherstone, in Aston Golding, who's totally out of favour, Briscoe, Orman Royd, Cameron Smith, Cameron Smith from there. You know, it's quite clear they're not good enough to play first team football week in and week out. So they're all in the comfort zone. Who can he drop? He can't drop anybody because he can't bring any quality in to replace them. So they're all in the comfort zone.
I think I said on the radio on Friday night, London's team is full of, and he's no disrespect to the
grafters.
cast off some of the super
The
leaguers,
grafters,
like
yeah.
Jordan Abdul, but they played as a team.
Players.
They
And that's
played as a
coaching.
team.
That's
And-
Danny
and-
Wood.
and-
Yeah.
and-
management
and-
cost.
and-
Great man management.
I mean, Eddie Batty is the classic example. He's waited until he's 27 years old to even have a chance of playing at Stadia.
Somebody
like
said to me,
Eddie.
Eddie Batty on Friday night, were like a young James Graham.
He was.
When he
was
came
played
back
at the
on-
line, played at the line.
When he
Yeah,
came,
he's got great hands,
Played
hasn't he?
at
They
the
play the
line.
line.
when he
yeah.
came back on, and the same with Matt Davis, the two
Yeah.
of them came back when London was seriously rocking. And,
Yeah, they were-
and,
they
if,
were-
and
they
if
were
Jack,
there for the
if
knocking
Jack
out.
Walker's try had been given, it might have been
Yeah.
curtains.
Yeah.
But Batty and Davis came back on at a time when the game was still 7, and it was Batty's post-contact charges
Yeah.
that took London into the places where they could score points.
Yeah, it was. It was unbelievable.
And
Wasn't
the-
it? It
the
was
other-
honestly. It was.
You
You look at him and you think he's not a professional.
But he's
rugby
just
player.
clearly
Look
been
at his
told
skill.
to go out and enjoy himself because he may never get this opportunity.
So you're telling me
again,
that
and he's waited so long for
Eddie
it.
Batty was far better than the ex-Australian Test front rower?
Well, I'm
You're
still,
not,
I'm
you're
still
not
sticking
comparing
by.
like with like.
I'm
Merrin
still
wasn't
sticking
playing
by.
that kind of a role.
Merrin was the
Merrin's
scapegoat.
He's a
Merrin's
front
the
rower.
scapegoat for the fact that-
Merrin is the
front row.
scapegoat. Merrin's stats show you how much work he's doing at the moment.
I think Leeds in that first half.
But there aren't enough
absolutely
Merrins.
Shot on confidence, just making
Yes.
silly errors that you would not expect players at this level to
Conceded
do.
I-
3
I'm-
tries
I'm not-
on the
I-
last tackle play, all from kicks.
Yeah, look,
Couldn't
he
shut
could have
the
gone
game
the
out.
other way. Could have gone the
Couldn't
other
shut
way,
the game
but to
out.
put that down to confidence.
Yeah.
Well,
In the closing
how do
stages,
Leeds
they
play?
haven't got
How
any.
do Leeds play?
They
How
haven't-
do they play?
They can't shut a game out.
Right, can I throw Phil?
They can't.
Phil-
They can't.
right.
They can't.
At 16
Very rarely can
Phil,
they put together a
At
decent set of
16-12,
six.
they had every opportunity to still win that game. London had to go 90 metres, and whether there was a drop ball or a forward pass, it doesn't matter. They went
Played to the
90
whistle.
metres.
Yeah, played to the
Nobody
whistle.
in the Leeds team was capable of shutting them out.
Right, Phil, can I throw this at you then? Because when Ferner was announced as Leeds coach, and I said, well, Dave Ferner, as we all know, Leeds, you've got to play in the right way, or else obviously the crowd don't like it. And you said it was the backs coach at South Sydney. You look
Who
at the way
scored the most points.
yeah, exactly. You look at the way they play from there. So now, what I'm thinking of here, Dave Ferner as a coach, with the players, what he's working with is David Ferner asking these players who are not the same quality what he's worked with before. Is he asking them to do stuff what they can't do, i.e.
Possibly.
both defensively
Absolutely.
and
I
attacking?
think one of the reasons
No.
he may or may not have been rattled.
I'm sure his game plan at Hull last week, one, get it on the right
No.
touchline, 2 passes to the middle of the park, and then the guy go, shit, I don't know
Well,
what I'm
you-
supposed to do with it now,
you
throw
a-
it back the other
you
way.
asked him-
That's no game
You asked
plan.
him,
No
Mark.
game
You
plan.
asked him, Mark. He said, "Put your shoulder and tackle," because that's
Yeah,
what they did
yeah,
at Hull.
yeah.
They could not tackle to
Well,
save their life.
you told us as a 5-year-old when you start playing with the league.
I know.
I go
I know.
back to whether
That's what they didn't do.
you spotting whether his demeanour was different this week. I think that last 5 minutes completely shocked him as a high-class performance coach because his team had done everything he'd asked them to do to get them to 16-8 up, having been 8-0 down at half time, and they didn't have the wherewithal to close it. I think when they're training, he's looking at them, what they can do and the skill levels they've got. He had no conception that they weren't good enough to close out that game in the
Okay,
last 5
yeah,
minutes.
you're saying that right. Yeah, they play a good team, and this is no disrespect. We've said London are a good team.
Yeah.
They play an elite team in that first half. How they played, they'd have been 28-0 down at half time. You know, London are playing with Jordan Abdul, a reject at Hull. Let's let you like he's just said. Let's call it a spade a spade.
I don't care.
James Cunningham, who's a hooker,
Yeah.
playing at number 7,
Jordan.
and they outshone Myler and Lawler here, who'll be on, must be on £250,000 between them. Honestly, you can't defend it.
fairness-
It's all right saying they played well for 35 minutes. That is not good
In
enough.
fairness to Dave
No,
Ferner,
that's what
though,
I'm
they
saying,
were
that-
rubbish
why-
last year, which is
Well,
why
this
they
is the
sacked why
point.
they sacked Brian McDermott, and then they got worse under Kevin
But the-
Sinfield.
and this is
They
the
were
point,
one
and
game
I-
away from the £1 million game.
And I overlooked it, right? I overlooked this fact. Moon would walk into that Leeds team. No longer
Garbutt.
there. Garbutt.
He's man of steel.
Garbutt
contender
is
at the
still
moment.
Leeds' best player. He'll play for him. Garbutt, he's gone. And there was another one. Kino. For me, Kino's
Ryan
in
Hall.
that team. Ryan
They're
Hall
top
getting that
Maker.
team. They've lost the best 4 players, and they've signed Merrin and Hurrell. They're good players. I'm not saying they're not. Hurrell, I think, again, which is what we always say about Watke. You put him in a good team, he scores 30
20
tries a
tries
year,
at least.
and he's still coming close in a poor team. So what's going to happen when he gets some good ball? The problem is the rest of the team. There's too much deadwood there, Phil, and it's not going to happen overnight. It might take 5 years.
Did
to turn
Ferner
this around.
sign those 3 players
No,
for their
no,
role? That's the thing.
he's sold,
Did
didn't
he
he?
want them?
I think he signed 2 of them. I think one of them had been signed before he came.
2 things, briefly. One, if players, as has been insinuated, are unhappy that players want a lot more money because they're marquee players, then why do the Warrington players get on with the fact that they've got the same situation?
That's
there
absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
Right,
And
in every sport, you have higher earners and lower
Absolutely.
earners in every team sport.
Two, if I think Leeds are going down a route which has been proven in the city of Leeds to fail, which is after a great period of success,
Goldfish.
you go you go back to the people who got you that success, and you appoint them as your coaches. And Leeds United did this for years after the Revy era, bringing in former player after former player who failed to get Leeds back to where they were. It's only when they got rid of them and brought in Hal Wilkinson that they had success. Is Leeds' problem now, and people use this as an excuse all the time in whatever sport, they say, well, such and such knows the club and knows the Scottish favourite word, culture. Do Leeds Rhinos need a completely fresh set of eyes to look at the situation at the club
They do.
with no baggage of the past? Because we all know what happened at St Helens with Kieran Cunningham when you got him the sack. We all know what happened there.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
He did.
What, by asking him an honest question? Yeah, lovely.
You're not allowed to do that, Mark. Have
Yeah.
you been told? Did you get the memo?
That bubble world.
you know, do Leeds need to just
Well,
break from the past and
What
start
did we say
again?
2 weeks ago? You ask Dave Furner, you go down the pub with Dave Furner and say, you know, that Dave off the record, and he'd go, no, don't want him, no, he can go, he can't tackle, he can't kick, he can't pass. He probably won't want 50% of that squad. And like we said to Rick Stone at Huddersfield when he inherited a squad of that was no good, in the salary cap era, you can't just turn it around. And they're going to have to suck it up. And this comes now down to the fact that they kept winning, and I maybe blame Zach Hardacre for delaying this a year, because if he'd have played in that final, Leeds wouldn't have won. I'm not having it, they wouldn't have won. Cass were the best team, they blew it on the big occasion. This has just been delayed 12 months by them winning the grand final, and they've got a team that, an unbelievable team of players, and they've all gone now, and what's left isn't good enough, and they haven't gone out and replaced.
They haven't rebuilt.
They haven't gone out. When Sinfield retired, they haven't gone out and gone.
But who could they have got?
Right, they could have gone out and signed a Blake Austin. If they said, "Well, we'll get a Blake Austin and someone we want to do this and do that." If Danny Maguire's leaving, we'll go get Blake Austin.
Gareth Whittaker, could have got Gareth Whittaker.
Yeah, we'll go get Gareth Whittaker.
Only
They
if he
could
was
have done it.
ready to come.
No, Phil. All the other players signed good players. Castleford haven't got any worse. They signed good
Jordan
players.
Rankin, eh? Yeah,
Look,
we'll have good team.
Wait for sign Craig Kopchak up for another year.
As I said, Craig Kopchak, Danny Brough walk into the Leeds team. The players are there, they haven't signed them, and now they're reaping the benefits. So when I asked Dave Furner if he's rattled, do I think Dave Furner should get sacked? No, not at all. I think the people above him should take a long hard look at themselves, apologise to the fans for how they've run the club. That's why we've won the grand final more times than not. Great. You're not going to win it for a long time yet. Absolutely
But
not
that's how
going to win
sport
it.
goes.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
cyclical
It
thing.
is. It's
Leeds
Man
is-
United have dominated football for 20 years.
Leicester Tigers.
Nah,
Are they in a hole at the moment?
Phil, come on, you're defending your mates.
It
now.
happens.
You're defending your mates.
Leeds
It does happen.
great
It
eras
does
have
happen.
every 30 years.
All right, okay.
In
So
the
it does
history
happen
of-
then.
it does
So
happen.
it does happen.
In a salary cap
But why didn't it
sport,
happen then
it
where
happens
they're just
even
coming in the
more.
middle of the table? Why are
But
they so bad?
this is they've been the exception, not the rule.
Phil.
You know, we said last week that if they'd beaten London, it would have papered over the cracks. You're
Yeah.
right, it's the grand final when they papered over the cracks.
It did. And that's credit to what a great team of players they had. As much as that annoys me, they were bloody
But
brilliant.
you can't replace
But they
them.
haven't.
You
You
can't
can re-
replace them.
There's some of them you
Some-
can replace,
some made a
Phil.
point.
Come on.
Yeah. Some
made a
of them
point.
they did, but they haven't.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't think they did.
Some people online made a point this week because I went onto the Leeds Rhinos forum because I thought. So
Is Jack Walker worth persisting with?
It's great.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think defensively he's magnificent. I think his attacking game needs a lot of
Yeah,
work,
yeah,
and
but
that
he's-
will come with
it will
experience.
come, exactly.
Yeah.
on the obvious player who we've all been speaking about all season about why did they let him go, some Leeds fans online were saying, why did we get rid of Mitch Garbutt but keep some of their older players in that similar position?
Because they wanted to sign Trent Merritt.
Well, so what last one? And we're moving on because we've got to do the prediction. We're going to run over. We'll get into trouble. Although,
Who?
but
We'll get shut out by the
But the point is, right, we all know all the players have been trying to get rid of, right? We could write a list, and probably people all know it's not secret information.
Mark, the Leeds fans will tell you now the players aren't good enough to wear that jersey.
Yeah, but
Simple.
if those players want to know, if those players know they're wanted rid of, you're never going to get 100. I'm not bothered what you say. You're never going to get 100%. Because as soon as something goes wrong, they go, well, they don't want me here, anyway, so why am I busting a
There's too many of them in the comfort zone, and you've mentioned one, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Richie Marler's in the comfort zone, and I said it before when they signed him. He is not good enough as a Leeds player. Simple as that. But
well,
there's a few of them.
Pick on one guy.
No, I'm not.
I
There's
think
a few of them.
I think he's getting an easy ride at the minute.
There's a few of them. There's a few of them who aren't good enough to play for Leeds. It's as simple as that.
It is agreed. And to say the players are out there, Phil, they are out there. You can name 10 players that have moved clubs this year that are all getting the Leeds team now, and they're not on a lot of money.
It was good though at half time when they brought on the Leeds women's team, so the fans can see what a winning team looks like these days.
Correct. Right, let's do the old predictions. You alright, Phil? We're still friends. Wait till you've got a kettle, aren't you, this weekend?
All being well.
Oh well.
By the way, just mention I tipped London to win.
You did tip London to win, Gary, although I don't think you tipped much else.
I did. I got 4 out of 6.
Hold on, the RSW seems to be getting further in front. What's going on
Yeah,
here?
well, I've got
It was
Spawn,
in charge of
I've
computer.
got Catalan Spawn.
What did I say?
By 2. You said okay by 1.
I backed Catalans yesterday.
I know you
And
did.
I backed Wakefield. I'm going to have to review. I think you're cheating.
There's
Wakefield.
no
Warrington.
prize for this though. I don't get anything from cheating. It's not like staying in Super League.
Just enhancing your reputation as one of them online people.
Online people.
Wakefield, Warrington, Gary Schofield.
Yeah, interesting one, isn't it? But Warrington, they just seem as though that consistency is their forte at this moment in time. They didn't perform very well against Catalans away from there. Johnson would be a big loss from there. Tupu, he may be missing too. I just feel as though Warrington will have just a little bit too much class. I'm going Warrington by 10.
John Davison, top of the Super League media tipping competition. What say
It's a fluke. It's a fluke. No, I think
That's not a fluke after 7 weeks, man.
it was
Scotty did
2
well in
predictions
week 1.
was a fluke.
It's not how you start the season.
That's true. That's very, very apt. No, I think Warrington, same as, unfortunately I agree with Scoey, same as Warrington just looking too good at the moment. And I think even away from home, they'll win by 12.
It'll be the rest full. I've already heard this from the people who sit in front of us at Bellevue. I'm going for a Warrington win just because they're a better team than Wakefield. I mean, they're more consistent. Wakefield are not consistent. Ryan Hampshire told me that today, and you'll see that on the YouTube at some point. So I've gone Warrington by
Chris Chester
4.
will be happy with that then. Yeah.
Well,
Interesting
He's
though
right,
that
though.
Chris Chester said the result at Hull was one of the best of his career.
The best
What
of
did we
his
say
career.
about Wakefield? They lose games when they fancy to win, but they always bounce back the week after.
I think they do need Tom Johnson to win games against the big teams or somebody of his ilk, so I think that will be a big blow.
Tupu will be the bigger miss, I think. I think
Yeah.
short term, Tom, you can get away with 1 or 2, but longer term, not.
So I think Warrington just have a bigger squad at the moment. They can afford to lose a Ben Westwood to a ban, and Ben Curry will continue his resurgence. So yeah, I think Warrington by 6.
I'm going to go Wakefield.
You're Wakefield.
I think Wakefield will be up for this. Big
You'll
pack.
bet on Warrington.
I'm going to say, just
no, I
remember
won't.
this.
No, not this week.
Can't be sponsored.
We did all right on the rugby this week, anyway. A bit about New Cardigan, much to the delight of the listeners.
Thanks to Wigan for not scoring late.
Yeah, I'll go for Wakefield by 2.
He wants some bread with his chips, doesn't he?
Castleford St Helens legend.
Yeah, the big one, isn't it? This could be the best game of the season so far. And Cass will be ready for this. Yeah, they've not been played to the best, but still managed to get the result. Windsor win. Saints, they just seem to be cruising, don't they? But they know this is a test for themselves. I'm going St Helens. I'm going by Len. St Helens by 7!
Hi, Len.
Yeah, I think Cass bounced back very well yesterday. Peter Matalia was excellent. McShane sort of pulling the strings, and Jake Truman, his game management has really come on. He was just forcing dropouts constantly, but in saying that, St Helens is just a step above. I think it'll be a good game. I think Cass will give them a good challenge, but Saints by 6.
Despite the fact that Saints goal kick is not very good, I've gone for Saints by 2. But I think it'll be a close game. I think we've got a cracking weekend of TV games, haven't we, Saturday, Thursday, Friday?
So go on, Saints by 2.
Saints by 2.
I just think Saints are remorseless at the moment, even though they clearly weren't at their best against Huddersfield last week. I think the second half.
Huddersfield, though, in fairness, they lost all the players in the second half.
They shut them down.
We didn't even mention that game here. I apologise to our listeners.
Well, you banned from there anyway. So.
I didn't mention any of League One. Hunslet are still unbeaten.
Yeah.
So
On the predictions now.
I'm going to go Saints by 10 because I still think it hurts them with the semi-final 2 years ago.
The only thing I've got here is Castle on a short turnaround, having played on Sunday.
Anybody back?
Millington will be back,
Yeah,
won't he,
he's
from
back from
suspension.
suspension.
I said earlier on, I feel like I owe Cass an apology. I think they'll be revved up this week. The short turnaround is the only hesitation that I have in not saying they'll win. I think, in fact, I'm going to go Cass. I think they'll win. I think they'll win. I think this is a bigger game for Castleford than it is for Saints. Saints are away from home. Yeah, they'll want to put down a marker. I think Cass might rip in. I think it. You know, how have they been tested, Saints, so far? They've won pretty easily every week. You know, I think Cass will rip in. I'll go Cass by 7.
I should say they were tested by Wakefield.
Yeah, they were. But
Because people are born. So that's double lens.
7!
Double lens.
Right, Huddersfield Hull KR. You're here, Scotty, so if you let us know the man of the matches about 7:15 before it kicks off.
I'll pass your best wishes on anyway, because I'll get the same daggers as what you get. Don't worry about that. But yeah, Huddersfield, they're in a bit of an all out at this moment in time. But Hull KR, they blew that game against Catalans, didn't they? But is it going to be an exciting game? Well, time. I guess time will tell, won't it? But
This has got Scully singing in commentary written all over
I
it.
saw a little bit enough for 40 minutes for Huddersfield from there. But look, yeah, they do surprise a little bit away from home, don't they? So I just feel as though the pack of forwards they've got in Rovers, I'm going Hull KR by 4.
Yeah, it's a really 50-50 game this, because I think Huddersfield are improving slightly, but Hull KR have sort of thrown away the Salford and the Catalans games. But even though they're a yo-yo team, I think Hull KR just by 2. I think they need to win this one.
Richard?
I am going for Hull KR as well. I've gone for the same score as Scully. I think this will be a tight game, but let's have more faith in Hull KR. And I'm going for them by 4 points.
Both busted, aren't they? Loads of injuries. Difficult to know where to even pick a form line for either team at the moment. I think that was quite a dispiriting defeat for Hull KR yesterday. They're the team on the slightly shorter turnaround. I genuinely don't know. I'm going to go for a draw. Golden Point, still a draw.
All right. Okay. I'm going against you all. I'm going for Huddersfield. I think Hull KR losing at home. They've played quite a lot of games at home as well, by the way, in the opening part of the season, and they've lost, like you said, to Salford a game they probably could have, should have won, or could have won. By all accounts, they should have won yesterday.
Yeah, should have.
Much to that mind, like they didn't. Nothing personal. I think Hull KR, Huddersfield have got a lot of injuries. I think I'm going to go Huddersfield by 6.
Your band's off.
Nah, don't worry about it. I was there the other day anyway. No one shot me anyway. That's a good thing. Not yet anyway. Catalan against Leeds. Gary Schofield.
Simple to sum up. Leeds are rubbish. Catalans by 20.
We need a little bit longer for Twitter.
That's what you want from a pundit, really.
Yeah. Well, he's speaking what he thinks. Leeds are rubbish. Catalan by 20. Yeah, is that it?
That's it.
Catalan weren't great yesterday. Lost a couple of players though, didn't they? But no, that's it. John, move on. Fresh from his London success.
I think Catalans haven't been very consistent either, but at home, Leeds are struggling. I think Catalans by 12.
Sorry. Why ain't he going before?
I don't know. It's just
Because
always
he jumped in.
It's just always
Come on.
been that.
First one he jumped in.
Yeah. Catalans by 18. They'll bounce back after that shocking performance against thing. And what's his name? Sorry.
Oh yeah, Cassiano. He might
He's
play
arrived.
this week.
Yeah, he could play this weekend.
The fella. Him.
Short turnaround for Catalan. Not sure that's going to make too much difference. Catalan by 6.
That's the second time he said Leeds are going to lose.
Yeah.
They must be in crisis now.
Right,
I think Catalan will win, but I don't think they're at their best. I don't think it'll be by many. And like I said earlier, this is a game Leeds could go and win and just turn it all around. And I think being away might help them, because I don't think Edinburgh was a great atmosphere the other night in terms of the pressure they were under. I'm going Catalan by 7. Guijo will drop a goal for definite.
Another 7.
7! Yeah. We need to get shift on now. People are falling asleep at home. London Hull, score.
Well, this will be a game they've targeted.
Your London Broncos.
This is a game they would have targeted, and as I say, Hull weren't too impressive against Wakefield. Oh, don't stick that up. Richie,
Look,
don't stick that up.
legend.
Don't stick that up.
London legend.
London
Come
We're
on,
talking
do
about
it.
rugby league players here, aren't we?
Still their
And,
highest point scorer in the season.
Yeah, so this would have been one of the games they have targeted with London. I don't think they've got too many injuries against Leeds on Friday night.
Cunningham was injured. But
The black and white's going to be ranting and raving here with me, aren't they? But on that ground, the confidence what they've got, I'm going London. I'm going London by 8.
Yeah, I think Hull, they got their bottom smacked a little bit against Wakey and they'll bounce back. London sort of struggled to put back-to-back wins together, so Hull by 10.
London by 2. I think it'll be close. Something about them. Unless Gareth Ellis plays or something.
All right.
interesting Hull at the moment because again, started the season in poor form, put 3 wins together and thought they cured everything. I think Lee Radford was upset with what they doled up against Wakefield this week, so they do need to hit back. I'm going Hull by 4, but I think that London will win the following week.
Okay. It'll be real. I think it'll be really high score. It'll be something like 40-32. I think this one.
2.
London. I think London will win by
8 if it's going to be
8.
40-32.
Yeah, it's going to be 40-32.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. I mean, you're the man in form, Scott. We've got to start copying you. And finally, is that it? Have we done?
No,
Salford, Wigan.
Salford versus Wigan in crisis.
Salford versus Wigan in crisis. Come on, Salford.
Salford are in cracking form. Quite simple again. Wigan, they're rubbish. Salford by 20.
20! Wow.
The default position of any team that is rubbish is they lose by 20.
I think it'll be a lot tighter than that, but I'm still tipping Salford by 4. I'm quite impressed with them yesterday. If they just get a few of the errors out, they'll get the win.
I've agreed with John and gone with Salford by 4.
This is a really big game for Salford because they're in the top 5. They're playing really good rugby. They had a magnificent win away at Castellan, but the one thing they haven't done yet is beaten a big team at home.
They got stuffed by Leeds as well.
Yeah, Leeds.
How bad does that form line look?
And they got beaten by St Helens as well. So if Ian Watson is right and they really need to prove themselves, they need to take the scalp of a Wigan. So I'm going Salford by 4.
You've gone for all the home teams so far.
I feel like I need to disagree because I've disagreed with on all the others, but I'm going to go. I think it's a game Salford need to win. If they're the real deal, and we think they are, and they ran cast close last week. I just don't see where Wigan are going to win a game. They're defensively very good. That'll keep them in it. It's going to be tight. Salford by 2.
Salford by 2.
Yeah. Right, that's it. We've done. Sorry to keep you over time, lads. Don't worry, we don't get paid over time, so don't worry. That is it. Thanks to everyone that's stuck with us and watched. Lots of you watching as well. We appreciate that. Subscribe to the podcast, download it, share it with your friends, do everything that helps us. That'd be lovely. Thanks for all your interaction. Thanks to Gary, thanks to John, thanks to Phil. Safe travels to Catalans. Don't bring home any points with you though. And thanks to Richard as well. The complaints line is open, as always, on 4020
Mr.
Live.
Ferner on the phone.